11 Sports presents St. Luke's Sports Medicine Game of the Week.
Southern Lehigh Middle School Stadium, the site tonight for high school football 2025 as we kick off the 2025 season. Indeed, our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. The Panthers from Quakertown taking on the Spartans from Southern Lehigh. Hi and welcome, everyone. Al DeCarlo alongside Terrence Maynard. So glad you could join us. A graduate of Wilson Area High School, went to Monmouth, now is in the booth again for the second year with D11 Sports. It is opening night. Who else better to ask than you? What is it about opening night, opening day of football?
Well, opening week, opening night is the first game where you get to show the whole league the kind of team you are. Last year, all the records, whatever happened, you throw out the window. That means nothing. It's a whole new year, a fresh start for all these teams, a fresh start for all these players, and we're going to see some good football out here. Like I said, week one, that's the fresh week. You get to show the entire league who you are. I think that's what these teams are going to do tonight.
Exciting matchup between these two teams. George Bannis, the head coach of the Panthers, he's in his 16th year at the helm. Brady Martin, their senior quarterback, had a great year last year.
Yeah, Brady Martin, guy that transitioned from receiver to quarterback last year, this year, now is fully able to lock in the offseason on a quarterback. Coach Bannis said that, with him being able to lock in, he's gotten smarter as a leader. He's gotten better in terms of his reads, and he expects a lot of big things from him today.
Well, on the other side, for Southern Lehigh, Phil Sams is now in his 6th year. They made a big run into the PIAA tournament last year. Colton Sams, coach's son, passed for 2,999 yards.
Oh, yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot of explosive plays from Sams tonight through the air. Even if he needs to use his legs, he can do that very efficiently too. But Southern Lehigh has always been known for having this high-octane offense, and I think Sam's going to lead the charge on that tonight.
Expect a great matchup between these two teams. Quakertown, Southern Lehigh, your D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
The St. Luke's Sportsplex, it's 80,000 square feet under roof, and then of course these 22 beautiful outdoor pickleball courts, 40 million people playing it nationally. Really, people of any ability level can play the game. This facility is fantastic, and we've got an excellent crew of pros and instructors that have really set this facility apart, and we're just getting started. We're looking forward to some exciting changes here over the next few months.
Did you know that every year our nation's hospitals are graded on quality and safety? Did you know this information is publicly available? Did you know that St. Luke's has earned 5 stars for quality and straight A's for safety? St. Luke's is the only PA-based health system and only 1 in 3 health systems in the nation to earn these outstanding recognitions. St. Luke's, the only locally based healthcare network serving as a model for the nation.
We are back here at Southern Lehigh Middle School, so glad you could join us. Great matchup between these two teams expected for sure. And down on the field is Tegan Tremba. She's a junior at Parkland High School. She talked to both coaches, and let's hear what they had to say.
Friday Night Lights are back, and the excitement is in the air. I spoke to both coaches before the games, and they shared nerves for opening night. Coach Phil Sams from Southern Lehigh said that he's excited to be playing against a team for a bigger school that's a little more competitive than what they usually play. They also graduated tight end Andrew Oles, who's now at Penn State and was a key player for them last year. But he said they have a lot of talent to be able to spread the ball around and hopefully replace him. Now, Quakertown coach George Bannis said he told his team, if you don't feel nervous tonight and if you don't feel like you have to prove something, then you're in the wrong place. He also said that, yeah.
All right, back to me. Tegan lost her train of thought there, and that happens from time to time, and that's all good. She talked to both coaches, and we appreciate her talking to them and getting us ready for the game and getting us ready for this excitement.
Excitement everywhere.
Excitement everywhere. It's youth night. You talked about, all right, opening night, opening day, getting there and being able for youth to be able to look up to these high school players. What is that like?
I mean, eventually these kids in the youth are going to be the players that are going to be on the field, going to be here under these Friday night lights. It's good that they get to come out and see, a lot of these kids that they're looking up to and how they operate, how they prep for game day, how they conduct themselves and, getting ready for situations like this. So, like I said, always good for the youth to be able to be out here, watch these kids and, like I said, get prepped for what they're going to be experiencing when they get up to high school.
Well, we're still about 8 minutes away from the game, and let's talk about our players to watch tonight because, we have players that are pretty impressive, and they're going to be behind, under center. I think we always say that, when you're behind center, underneath center, as the team's going to make their way onto the field, we'll look at those players to watch and, get you ready to go as the players will make their way onto the field at the same time. But, one thing that we've noticed is, you look at them. I mean, Brady Martin. 2,000 yards, 21 and 12. Obviously, he wants to improve on that, but you're talking about more experience coming into this year, right? And then on the other side for Colton Sams, those numbers don't lie. Yeah. 34 and 7. You still have Steckle, in the way they're playing. You still have players in the background that can play. Steckert has been, tremendous when it comes to what he did last year as well. He rushed for 2,000 yards. So between the two of them, over 5,000 yards, which is impressive.
Certainly something that they're going to try and heighten on tonight. So we get the Spartans out here.
So the Spartans are on the field. We'll wait for Quakertown to make on the field. Let's take a look at our keys to the game, and we'll bring them on in a special night today. We'll get to that in a moment, but take a look at the keys of the game. Go ahead.
Big keys of the game, especially for Quakertown. Stop big plays on defense. They know that Southern Lehigh has got this high-octane, high-explosive offense. If they can limit some of those big plays, they feel they'll have big success tonight. And, of course, on the offensive side, they need to create explosive plays. Down the field, running the ball, passing the ball. They need to make sure that they get chunks in big opportunities and big-time situations. And on the other side for Southern Lehigh, control the line. These big boys up front, a lot of returning starters, they need to be the dominating force that gets this game in motion on both sides of the ball, not just offense, but also on defense. And, of course, be more physical. The team that's more physical, the team that, is gritty more, the team that's able to wrap up and, limit those mistakes is going to be the team that wins. Southern Lehigh is looking to harp on that here tonight.
And then we'll see what happens as we get ready for opening night of football here at Southern Lehigh. With the stadiums, courts, and fields are quiet and the crowds are gone, St. Luke Sports Medicine is still at work in athletic training rooms, on sidelines, and at practices, before games and after games. No matter your sport or position, St. Luke's is on your team with the best athletic trainers, performance coaches, physical therapists, and orthopedic sports medicine physicians and surgeons. We'll get you back on your feet and back in the game. St. Luke's is the region's only varsity team in sports medicine. If you're a student from any District 11 school interested in broadcasting, journalism, or photography, check out d11sports.com. Follow your dream, get close to the action, and take part in our student internship program. For more information, contact your athletic director or reach out to myself or Dave at d11sports.com. Tally Carpet and Floor, your hometown source for all your floor covering needs. Carpet, laminate, vinyl plank, hardwood, and tile. Expert installation available. The flooring experience you deserve. Located at 2155 Milford Square Pike. Call 267-347-4841 today. Support for our D11Sports.com Game of the Week comes from Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley in Easton. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. So we are moments away from the national anthem. We are moments away from a special ceremony at midfield as well for a legendary, I call him a legend in his own mind, but boy, he's a legend. Been here 50 years, and that's Don Harricle. You see him standing right there at midfield. Had a chance to talk to him beforehand, and he's just excited to be back here and still helping out after 50 years of being a part of the Southern Lehigh community. Quakertown making their way onto the field, taking their good old time compared to Southern Lehigh as they make their way onto the field. And with that, we pause on America with the playing of our national anthem. And with that, we are just about there, and now they will honor as Quakertown makes their way officially onto the field. Once they do, they'll go to midfield and honor Don Herrick. Again, I've known Don a long, long time. District 11 chair and representative for swimming. He's done so much for Southern Lehigh. I say when you retired, you've done more in retirement working here than when you were there. He left here, and then all of a sudden I saw him over at Mans, came back at Southern Lehigh, still helping out in the athletic department. I'm like, Mike, when you love it and you have that passion, you keep it going.
Yeah, you can never, keep the game away from someone, especially Don. It's always nice to honor people who have come through here and have been a major part of the success, because, football is not just a individual sport. It's a family thing. So to be able to have someone like Don here, and like I said, to be able to honor him, it's always a special feeling.
And he's also the PA announcer for the basketball team as well. He's getting looked at now, and here they go. We'll go down to the field.
Please draw your attention to midfield, where Southern Lehigh Athletic Department would like to recognize the contributions of Mr. Don Harrison. Don is starting his 50th year in the athletic department at Southern Lehigh. During his 50 years in the department, Don has served as coach, athletic trainer, assistant athletic director, announcer, timekeeper, statistician, and his record athletes from 1989 to 2011. Currently, Don is assistant athletic director for the fall and spring seasons, as well as the voice of Southern Lehigh basketball, among other duties. Additionally, Don is the tournament director of the District 11 Swing and Diving Championships. Mr. Harrison was inducted into the Southern Lehigh Athletic Hall of Fame in 2014, and the Pennsylvania State Athletic Director Association Hall of Fame in 2022. Joining Don at midfield is his wife Connie, their children Allison and Eric, grandchildren, and his close friend Jim Snow. Simply put, when you think of Southern Lehigh athletics, you think of Don. At this time, please join us in recognizing Don Harrison on the beginning of his 50th year of service in the Southern Lehigh Athletic Department. Take a fair one toss, and we'll defer to Matt.
So Quakertown wins the toss. They defer to the second half. Southern Lehigh will get the football. Again, congratulations to Don Herrick. I know Matt Spengler, the current athletic director, down there on the field with him as well. Matt, just a great person as well. Just getting us involved with this. We're going to try to interview Don at the half if we can, and maybe bedtime for him, Don Herrick, at 8:30 or so. So I never know. Now he's going to hear that. He's going to get upset with me. All right. So we're getting ready for another season of high school football on D11Sports.com. I want to thank Sports Fan Base Network, Sean Riley, hopefully pushing the right buttons tonight. We'll see what happens there. His crew and Ari and everybody else, and they've been with us for a while, and we appreciate all their efforts and everyone out there. Hope you enjoy all our coverage here on D11Sports.com. Of course, our good partners at St. Luke's Sports Medicine, John Hoth, Greg Lay, Ken Sidlow, and everybody on their team, and helping out our students and getting them in position where we have students now that have graduated and moving on to bigger and better things, and parts of our program, and we love to see that. And I think it's just a foundation of what our program does. And if anyone's interested and you're in District 11 and you're a student, just let us know or talk to your athletic director, and we'll get you involved. But we see our students getting involved each and every time, and it's just build a platform for them to show their talents.
Yeah, great opportunity for these young kids to get a lot of real world experience, in the booth, down there, in the microphone, reporting. It's just great opportunities here at the 11. So certainly recommend coming out and giving it a shot if it's something you'd like to do.
All right, Terrence, are you ready?
I'm so ready. I've been ready all day.
I mean, you didn't call me for the last 3 months and say when's opening day or anything like that.
Yeah,
you haven't bugged me at all and said, hey, by the way.
I've been excited. I love being in the booth with you, Al. I love being with D11 Sports, and overall, just love watching some football. It's a great atmosphere here tonight.
Ben Magel has it on the tee for the Panthers of Quakertown, and we welcome everyone watching from Quakertown as well. They have a great following. Brian Leacano, their athletic director, and Lincoln Carr, and they do their live streams as well. And we were there last year. They took care of us as well, so we appreciate all their efforts in Quakertown and all their fans watching tonight. So Southern Lehigh, Quakertown, get ready for this tilt here on a Friday night on August 22nd. And Magel has it on the tee, and we are underway, and this one will go off the fingertips of Sean Steckert. Steckert comes in the near side, gets across the 20. He's always dangerous, and he breaks a tackle down the sideline, still on his feet, and finally gets pushed right around midfield or so, depending on where they mark the football. So a good start, good possession. Coach Bennett said, we got to win, kickoffs. We can't give them a short field. We're right there. They did. Take a look.
Well, I mean, Steckert is, of course, the guy you want to get the ball in your hands to, but it's a great job by Steckert making one miss, accelerating up the sideline, and fortunate one of his guys kind of tripped him up there. Otherwise, he would have been to the house.
Yep, and they moved him back here a little bit, and he did step out. They're going to mark him down.
It's a great start for Southern Lehigh. You want to get your team going. You want to get everybody fired up, make a play.
Yep, they're going to move it up to about the 36-yard line, so we'll see Steckert in the backfield. Colton Sams, your quarterback. First possession of the 2025 season for the Southern Lehigh Spartans, who had some great success a year ago. They will go with number 3, and Steckert flies right through the middle. Bursts across, gets the first down and more. Still on his feet. They try to rip the ball out, and he gets taken out of bounds right around the 40-yard line.
Tell you what, Al, got to give some of these big boys up front a lot of love. Great pull blocks in the interior by Dylan Gretz. And that opening that hole, able to propel Steckert to where he needed to go.
Hey, take a look at the starting lineup. Sam's leading the way. Look off for Koczynski there, number 80. He's dangerous as well. They got some key players there, and you mentioned those linemen. They're going to really open up some holes. We'll get their weights and heights in a little bit. Sam's tosses far side, does not hit the ground. And that's going to lead to a first down across the 30, right on that first down marker. First catch made on the night by Koczynski. So Luke Koczynski, 6 foot, 180 pounds, had 50 catches for 955 yards and 12 touchdowns.
And this is just a great job on the open screen. A couple of missed tackles here by Quakertown. Nonetheless, good job by Southern Lehigh.
The ball to 29 as you look at the defense. Steckert got tripped up and ends up getting some positive yards, as we'll bring in the defense one more time to get you a better look at that. When you look at it, I think number 0 right there, one of the linebackers in Schumacher, he's going to be one of those guys that are going to really, cause some havoc.
And you got guys like Brady Martin, the quarterback, returning in at DB, and that experience has certainly got to be a positive sight for Quakertown.
So underway, about a minute 30 into the game, and suddenly just having their way. That was the first play, they actually got positive yards. 2nd down and 9 from the 28-yard line. Sam's at a long count. He goes 2 receivers near side, and they'll keep it on the ground with number 3. And I think you're going to see a lot of number 3. Watching him, last year and seeing, what he was capable of doing. He had 278 carries as a junior. That's a lot of carries, and he scored 34 touchdowns. But when you're averaging over 7 yards a clip, that's not bad, huh?
Yeah, no, certainly not. And, like I said, Southern Lehigh is usually a high-octane, passing offense. But when you have a guy like Steckert who can get the ball in any part of the field and make room and make space, you're going to want to give it to him as much as you can.
Big play here, 3rd down and 3. Back to Steckert, pops forward, and it's all on the spot here. It looks like they're going to mark him. Well, the near side official has it short. So they are going to be short here. Obviously, you're going to go for it if you're Southern Lehigh, especially, when you got a couple of those key cogs in there, including, a big guy in Carter Giberson at 6'4", 336, hanging out there at left tackle.
And I've noticed also that they've been motioning in and out of fullback Jacob Tremler, left and right. He's in here now, giving an extra blocker for Steckert.
And that will give them enough to move the chains. All right, so early going here in the game. Obviously, it's the opening drive. We'll see Quakertown a little bit. What are you seeing from Southern Lehigh?
Well, Southern Lehigh, usually they would like to, pass the ball, high-octane offense, but they're running it. They're kind of feeling out the defense for Quakertown, and they're making their adjustments as they go based on what they see from Quakertown. I really like that. Sometimes it's got to be my guys versus your guys to get it going, and that's exactly what the Spartans are doing here.
They'll mark this at the 18. Sams just flicks that one forward. And they'll gain a couple. On the carry with Jacoby Jacobs. Jacobs at 6 foot, $170.
I like the creative ways the Spartans are getting the ball in the hands of their players. Right there, they just gave it to Jacobs. He was in the wing set. Comes out in motion when the play snapped and throw him the ball right there, toss him the ball right there, and it's just a unique formulation of offense for Southern Lehigh.
You have Krasinski and Roman lined up to the far side of the field if they go in that direction. And they're looking that way, and that one is picked off. Eyeing that one up was Brady Martin with the INT. You said it earlier, beware, he's there. And he kind of laid back, right?
Yeah.
He laid back. He knew that ball was coming in his direction. So first big play, take a look.
Well, you got to think of it like this. It's a quarterback-to-quarterback situation. Martin knows how Sams is, thinking. Wanted to throw to that wheel route up at the top. Martin was right there to get 2 hands on it. It's a beautiful play to snag the ball away from Brady Martin, get this offense going, or get this offense on the field for the Panthers.
So the big play comes with 7:48, and they'll start from about the 11-yard line or so. And we'll bring in their offense as they get their first play of the game. And again, you look at Brady Martin, he's going to lead it here for the Quakertown Panthers. But he's got some good company behind him as well.
Of course, Jackson Connelly, returning starter for the running back position, someone they're going to really try and utilize offensively. I believe they just gave it to him on that play to open up.
Kyler Rassner as well. Looking to throw. Trying to come sear line. He's being pressured. Throws that one. Last second, that one knocked away. Nice defense. That was Samad Harriet as you take a look.
And Southern Lehigh, some of their starters, of course, Giberson, someone we've really been harping on, is going to be a big factor here today in this game. Gretz as well on the inside right next to him. And this is going to be a unit defensively that is going to have to make plays at the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to, really aggressively enforce dominance at the line of scrimmage for Southern Lehigh to have a big game today. And that's just what they did there on that play action.
Yeah, so 3rd down and long here for Martin, who stands inside his own 5-yard line. They'll go sideline, and that one maybe got tipped, and they'll have to punt the ball away. So 3 and out here for Quakertown. So if you're Quakertown right now, you get the INT, but you go 3 and out. But as coaching staff, you're still positive. You get a chance to, hey, listen, we did what we had to do. Now it becomes that special teams part again, right?
Well, yeah, even though on offense you weren't able to make strides down the field, defensively, last time you were on the field, you think you got an INT, you were able to stop their offense from going anywhere, getting into the end zone. That's got to be a momentum builder still for this defense for Quakertown as they give the ball up here.
So Hutchinson punting from his own end zone. This will take a roll, but it'll be picked up right around the 45-yard line. And looking to return that and will is Otto Young. And Young gets to the sidelines, and they're kind of almost right where they were when they were driving before the interception.
Yeah, certainly that's something I was going to want to pick up on. Early on in Quakertown, too many missed tackles and special teams on defense, and that's something that Coach Banner said is going to be a bit of a downfall if, the Panthers can't clean that up.
Read some of those numbers there for Quakertown and Southern Lehigh when it comes to the line.
I'll read Southern Lehigh first. Here are some of their offensive linemen's height and sizes: 6'2", 247, 6'1", 209, 6'3", 292, 6 foot, 234, 6'4", 336 pounds. So no lack of size on this offensive line for the Spartans.
Stecker gets tripped up. And what about Quakertown?
And, of course, on Quakertown, the other side, here are some of the, 6'6", 320, 6'6", 250, 5'9", 210, 6 foot, 250, and 6'3", 230. So a lot of big boys on this field on both sides, Al.
No doubt. No doubt. So 6:35 on the clock, opening quarter of play here from Southern Lehigh. We have no score in the game. That being said, Southern Lehigh has really dominated to this point. 2nd down and 9 from the 22. Sams pumps, throws, and that one incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Darius Roman, the 5'8", 185-pound senior. And they'll bring up 3rd down.
Southern Lehigh doing a good job at moving this offensive line right side, left side to give Sams some more time to pass. And Sams just has to, stop his feet, step into that throw, a little hesitant on it. Now we lead to 3rd down.
Yeah, I would think, we know something. I had a great kicker last year. I would think, they'll go twice here if they have to. Stecker tries to get around the side, and Stecker gets inside the 20. And they'll be a few yards short of that 1st down marker as he got popped down on the play. And they bring up another 4th down. See where the Spartans opt here.
Surprising situation for the Spartans. Trip set to the left side. Would have surely thought they would have passed it there, but nice little run to the left side to get a little 4. Looks like they're staying on now.
Yeah, 4th down. The ball sits at the 19-yard line. Sams.
Ball's out.
Yep. They get it back as it got into the hands of Gabriel Bogert, but at the same time, I think on the exchange, it was going to pull it back out.
It's a miscommunication. I think, Sam's maybe last second wanted to pull it in. Here we go, as we see here on the replay. Stecker to the right side, and I think Sam's, wasn't too set on what he wanted to do in terms of if he wanted to hand it off to Stecker or pull it. And in those kind of instances, you cannot be hesitant.
It almost looked like Stecker didn't even know the ball was going to be handed to him
at
all.
Yeah.
All right, so we get a 3 and out. Ball has been sitting on the left side of the field by the scoreboard for the majority of this 1st quarter. After driving, ball to start things off at the 21. And absolutely nowhere to go. All blue jerseys.
Great job out of linebacker Darius Leitner, just shooting up the gap, wrapping up, making a tackle. It's exactly what you want to see out of your linebacker if you're Southern Lehigh.
Terrence, talk about tonight, the night. Temperatures going down into the 70s. By the time game ends, probably in the 60s. For an opening game, that's, I'm not going to say luxury, but that's a great night instead of being 84. We've been there, when you have the temperatures, especially in the middle of August, where we're starting so early. Someone jumped, our first penalty of the game.
And, I'll just harp on that point a little bit. Usually, especially week 1, it's still the summertime. You're still expecting hot weather, but anytime you can get an opportunity where you get some breeze, you get some wind coming in, that's always good for your players, especially coming into this opening week.
I think we've seen this before where sometimes you go listen, I've been doing this a long time. you get a nice cool temperature. I'm not saying it's cool, but it's getting to be a little cooler. First 2 weeks, then all of a sudden it's like September 15th, and all of a sudden you're still getting 85, 88 degree weather. Everybody's cramping up in week 3.
Yeah.
So hopefully none of that stuff. All right, the penalty on Southern Lehigh. Looking to throw a lot of time, middle part of the field, and the ball gets loose. They're going to call it incomplete. Or are they? No, they're not. So Southern Lehigh will pick up the football. That was a huge stick as Elijah Boyd made the catch.
Al, let me tell you what. Back in my day, when someone got hit, as we're about to see right now, we called that a licking. I mean, that is phenomenal by Steckert.
Not sure who picked that up.
Yep. They're
Maybe
still
Darius Leitner?
Yeah, it's phenomenal by Steckert, fumbling the ball out, giving the ball back to the Spartans.
And the Spartans have the ball back. Let's see what happens here. Here's Steckert straight through the middle. And a gain about 6.5 yards or so. Wow, that ball really, that gets the blood flowing.
Yeah, that certainly gets the whole team fired up on the sideline, seeing a guy lower his shoulder, pop the ball out, momentum builder for everybody in blue.
So 4:11 on the clock. Still no score. Dominated here by Southern Lehigh, however. They'll go with 4 receivers. Now 3 go to the right side. Sam's looking to throw. Pumps once. Here comes the pressure. Throws that one and overthrows the intended receiver in Luke Krasinski.
Great job by Sams to stay in that pocket, try and be tough and lay a ball out. Just unfortunate with the pressure coming in. He couldn't put that one down where it needed to be. 3rd down now for Southern Lehigh.
So inside 4 minutes, opening quarter. Keep it on the ground. And that middle part of the field that was open early has tightened up a little bit.
Exactly what the Panthers needed. Able to make a pile, able to bunch things up. Suddenly only able to get a minimal gain there. Put us at a 4th down, and very risky for a lot of these teams, Al. These teams are showing a lot of confidence, going for it on these 4th down situations.
They'll go on the ground. Steckert has room. He gets a 1st down, pushes off, and has a little bit more. And there's a flag at the end of that play. And let's see if maybe a face mask came in there. They'll talk things over. Mike Matejka is the referee. Umpire is Mark Hofstetter. Angelstein is your linesman. Mike Tutzel is your line judge. The back judge is Joe Pedrizzi. Tyler Watkins is your field judge. Noah Sparandio is your side judge. And your clock operator is Rob Bosak. Thank Jim Haney for getting us the information earlier today. So suddenly I moves the chains. And the ball will sit right around the 14-yard line.
I love that on 4th down. Give it to your guy, Steckert. My guys versus your guys. Getting the first, getting pushed back a little by the face mask, but.
Marking on the 14. Sams pumps, goes far side. He's got Krasinski. Krasinski tries to make move, powers forward, and gets to about the 10-yard line. Boy, it's amazing when you look at that clock and the way the clock's moving right now. And we have not moved from this spot for about 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, it seems like we are destined to be in this area forever of the field. Someone's got to make something do.
So a gain of 4. The ball sits at the 10. They can get a 1st down just inside the 5-yard line. They'll split the receivers to the near side now. They'll go back to Steckert. Steckert finds a little seam through the hole. and gets down to the 1, so it'll be 1st and goal from the 1 for the Spartans, knocking at the door.
This has been a really, run-heavy first half for Southern Lehigh. They're really pushing the issue that they want to run the ball down the throats of the Panthers, really making sure they give it to their guy Steckert, and he's been paying a lot of dividends.
Now they actually push it back and mark it at the 2, so 1st and goal from the 2. As we approach the 2-minute mark. High snap. Sams gets it to Steckert, dives forward. First touchdown of 2025 goes to Sean Steckert, the senior, for the Spartans. They lead 6-0.
And it's a great job controlling the snap by Sams. As we see here, bit of a high snap by the center, Luke Sutyak, but still Sams able to control it, pull the ball down, and give it to Steckert, and Steckert lowering her shoulder into the end zone. Good drive for Southern Lehigh.
Vitanteros with the extra point, and that is up and good. So the Spartans, after, 3 tries?
Yeah.
You had the interception, you had the 3 and out, you could battle back, you keep pushing forward, you get the touchdown.
And that shows a great amount of grit from Southern Lehigh. Some of those early mistakes, that interception, able to still bounce back, still put something in the end zone, still get 7 on the board by the Spartans.
All right, so we have a moment here for people that don't know your background. Talk about your background, where you played, and when you graduated and all that good stuff.
Played at Wilson High School, graduated in the year 2017. Went to Monmouth University for 4 years. Now I'm just living the dream, professional wrestler. Hanging out here with Al, you of course, always D11 Sports, and wonderful life, man, wonderful life.
I asked you before the game if you could just drop my partner and Dave Mike, and you said you're off duty.
I'm off the clock.
That's ridiculous.
I'm off duty.
I mean, everybody would watch that. That would be literally theater. That would be enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh well, 7-0 on the 2-yard touchdown by Sean Steckert. Again, on the season last year, he had 34 touchdowns. And he also had another 4 receiving. That's a big chunk.
Certainly.
And that one fielded and dropped right around the 12-yard line. Here comes the pressure, and down they go. Damian Lawanda Richardson had it try to spin around, and he ended up getting caught up.
And in those situations, when you don't field it clean, you get up, and first thing you kind of do is, panic, just try and make sure you can get some space. But good thing by Southern Lehigh, they were able to round them up and put them down.
And if you're Quakertown right now, you have not had solid field position by any means. This is the 3rd possession. They've been inside the 15, 20-yard line throughout. They'll start this time from the 12 with Brady Martin. Martin goes far side. And a pickup of a couple. Reception made. And catch was made by Elijah Boyd.
Makes you wonder when the Panthers are going to maybe try something deep. Haven't really gotten too much success in this first half, but all that can change with one big play. I'm sure they know that.
Well, try to go on the ground and, again, try to push a little bit forward. On the carry there was Kyler Rassner, number 25. But just like that, it's 3rd down and 3. Rassner stays in the backfield.
False start.
So you get to that position where 3rd down and 3, a manageable 3rd down, and now all of a sudden it's going to move you back, make it 3rd down and 8.
That certainly is a drive killer, especially when you're a team that's been in these 3rd down situations.
Oh, actually,
on the defense.
So instead of 3rd down and 8, how about 1st down and maybe some place to relax here when you're sitting here at the 23, 24-yard line.
Yeah, finally able to move the ball down the field a little bit. just got to keep it pushing for the Panthers.
So first down and 10 from the 24. Low snap, and then slips a little bit, and then it was destruction from there. Never really had a chance, and he was taken down by Dylan Gretz.
And, when you get a bad snap, kind of wrecks the play that you're trying to, run. Now you have to, especially if you're quarterback first, you have to retrieve the snap and look down the field and see where you want to go with the ball. And it's just really discombobulates everything right there. It's what we saw from the Panthers, saw from Martin.
I don't know if they'll snap it. They will not. Clock will wind down here. So only one touchdown and only points on the scoreboard came on a 2-yard score by Sean Steckert. That came with 2:03 on the clock. We're through one opening night of football. It's 7-0 Southern Lehigh over Quakertown. You're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
Did you know the Greater Lehigh Valley's largest provider of healthcare education is right here at St. Luke's, a place where more than 2,700 medical students, nursing students, and allied healthcare professionals are part of something bigger, training side by side with the region's top physicians and medical minds in over 100 medical disciplines. We are a destination for transformational learning right here in the Lehigh Valley. We are a part of the community we serve, training the future of healthcare in the region. We are St. Luke's.
Did you know that every year our nation's hospitals are graded on quality and safety? Did you know this information is publicly available? Did you know that St. Luke's has earned 5 stars for quality and straight A's for safety? St. Luke's is the only PA-based health system and only 1 in 3 health systems in the nation to earn these outstanding recognitions. St. Luke's, the only locally based healthcare network serving as a model for the nation.
We are back. 7-0 your score, and Southern Lehigh leads. Quakertown with the football. They'll sit second down and 12 from the 22-yard line. So glad you could join us. Al DiCarlo, Terrence Maynard, Dave Micah in the house as well. Tegan Tremba as pass play into the hands of Ben Hutchinson. Your thoughts of quarter number 1?
It was a good quarter of action, really showing both defensive sides of the ball, really showing that they're going to step up and try and be a factor here tonight. And I think if Quakertown can just be a little more efficient offensively, they can stay in it. They can stay with these guys all game. But a nice quarter of action. I'm a big defensive guy, so I don't mind seeing defense shine throughout.
Looking to throw, rolls out. Here comes the pressure, and avoids getting hit and then gets taken down. It was the pressure that came right away, and once that came through, it kind of altered everything. I believe that was lightning.
Yeah, you try and play action right side to get your quarterback some space, but what exactly do you do when you play action? You still got a guy busting through the line like Leitner did, and it's a great job defensively to keep Quakertown at a bit of a standstill here on their side of the field. On the 4th down.
Yeah, 4th down and long. The first down marker sitting around the 34-yard line, so they'll bring the punting unit out once again. That's Ben Hutchinson. And he gets a positive bounce to about the 46-yard line, fielded there by Otto Young, and Young taken down, and they'll bring out the offense up 7-0. No matter your sport or position, St. Luke's Sports Medicine can train you to avoid injury, and if you do get injured, we're there with the best athletic trainers, performance coaches, physical therapists, and orthopedic sports medicine physicians and surgeons to get you back on your feet and back in the game. St. Luke's is the region's only varsity team in sports medicine. If you're a student from any District 11 school interested in broadcasting, journalism, or photography, check out D11sports.com. Follow your dream, get close to the action, take part in our student internship program. For more information, contact your athletic director, reach out to myself or Dave at D11sports.com. So Southern Lehigh with the lead and the football. They'll start things off at the 48, their own 48, and they will stay with Steckert. Steckert pops to the outside, and he's got a good block in front. He's going to make it to the sidelines and gain himself about a 15-yard pickup for a first down inside Panther territory.
Great patience by Steckert, as we see here. Just waiting for his blocks to ignite, accelerating through the hole, and you let this kid get an open field, and he's going to make you pay. Great job on the left side of the Spartans line to get him bursting through that hole.
So they'll mark it at the 36. Sam's going to go for it here. One-on-one coverage. He's got Koszynski, who goes up and gets it down to the 1. Nice catch. Wow, going up. Luke Koszynski makes a nice grab. First and goal here for the Spartans.
Sometimes, Al, you just got to let your man make a play. Sams knows that all too well. Koszynski one-on-one. Sam's going to give him a shot. Man, you can't teach this. Going up and getting it like a basketball player, pulling it down, that is exactly what you want to see if you're Coach Sams, and exactly the spot you want to be in if you're Southern Lehigh.
So down to the 2. Sams and Steckert in the backfield. And Sam's going to throw this one, goes far side, incomplete. Your thoughts, first down call? Going to air it up there from 2 yards?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes you just got to give your guy a chance. Let him go get the football. Give him a 50-50. Trust in him that he's going to pull it down, and that's exactly what we saw there. And, of course, that first down incompletion was a bit of a killer because it was really good route. I believe it was Darius Roman.
Second and goal from the 2. Did like before, stack it up a little bit more, and no indication that Steckert got through.
The ball was out.
Yeah, I mean, they marked it down
like
inside the 1 yard line, and then Quakertown came out with the football. George Bannis is on the other sideline. He's irate. He's wondering what's going on. Like, hey, we came out with a football. You guys, I need a whistle blow. They're going to mark it right inside the 1.
It would be huge if the Panthers were able to make a stop at the goal line.
Coach Bannis is going to call timeout here because he wants to talk to the officials. He really wants to know what happened there. Again, we didn't hear a whistle. That being said, I think when the ball was down on the ground, it probably got pulled out.
Yeah.
He's at midfield. You can see him right there on the top part of our screen where he's talking to the officials at the same time. We're glad you could join us here on opening night of football on August 22nd, the earliest we've ever started football. My brother does football in Indiana. He's like, wait, you usually start a week after. I go, not tonight, same as you. G-Tally Carpet and Floor, your hometown source for all your floor covering needs. Carpet, laminate, vinyl plank, hardwood, and tile. Expert installation available. The flooring experience you deserve. Located at 2155 Milford Square Pike. Call 267-347-4841 today. All right, and inches here. Jacob Trembler checks in too. He's the lead blocker for Steckert, who goes in from a yard out to increase the lead.
They got it.
Right at the 9-minute mark in quarter number 2.
And this is a situation, again, suddenly full house set, having Trembler in there to give some assistance. And when you have this bunch formation, you just give it to your guy and let him lower a shoulder and get on some bodies and get into the end zone. Exactly what the Spartans did there.
Extra point by V. Tintoris is good. And a 14-0 lead right at the 9-minute mark for Southern Lehigh as they get going here. And, you know, we talked about this before. I was at the Colonial League Media Day a couple weeks back and, you know, talked to a couple of players. And, you know, when you look at Sean Steckert, you know, of course, he's going to thank the line, you know, for, you know, what he has. You talked about the size of the line. And the first guy that came up to me ready to do an interview was Carter Giberson. And I looked at him and go seriously?
Yeah.
You know, I'm 5'10". I look at this guy, you know, he's 6'4", 336. He was like a giant next to me. I'm thinking, all right, well, I guess Southern Lehigh has a pretty big line this year. He goes, yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, well, it just goes to show the development of Southern Lehigh and how they prep in the off season and making sure that at this point, you know, their kids are up to speed. I'm sure Giberson's been a huge help on that, being a senior, being a leader, being a guy with great experience coming back and being able to produce in the ways he has already in this game.
So now a uphill battle. This is the first time Quakertown has a chance to return a kickoff.
Yeah.
Well, second time actually, but and see if they can get past that 20-yard line or so.
If you are Quakertown, that's just something you are gunning for. You're just looking to get some momentum, looking to get positive yards down the field, special teams and offense, and maybe get something here.
Tentoris lets that one fly, and it's picked up right around the 10-yard line. Lots of room, lots of space. Good field position on a nice, solid return by Kieran Monahan, the 6', 160-pound sophomore. D11sports.com. Thanks, Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley in Easton. For his sponsorship of the Game of the Week, for all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member, SIPC. So from the 30, Martin will start things off, and he'll pitch this one back. And the first down has not been a promising first down for this team so far, as only gaining a yard or so was Kyler Rassner. Rassner at 5'8", 160 pounds, one of those seniors on this team for Quakertown. And I want to thank Matt Spengler, the athletic director here at Southern Lehigh, for his hospitality, and you can tell it's starting to cool off a little bit as well.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the ground again, and that line is bunching up. Still moving his feet, however, but gain only maybe 2 yards or so upfield.
This is exactly what Coach Sam said he wanted to see from his line up front. They control the line of scrimmage. Great job by some of those big boys up front, just keeping a hold at where they are on the line of scrimmage, not letting them get pushed back, and not letting too much get to them offensively. Quakertown having a hard time in this early going, getting the ball moving on the ground.
Ben Hutchinson checks in, 6'3", 180 pounds. There's some size that wide out. That one. I think I know that guy.
Yeah, there goes that man, Giberson again. And one thing defensive linemen are taught, if you cannot get to the quarterback, you're not going to get to the quarterback, get those hands up. He gets a big paw in there and swats the ball down.
Getting some FCS looks, which is not a surprise. I guess when you're 6'4", 336, some coaches are going to come talking, right?
Oh, yeah, when you can make plays like this. Double teamed, still able to get through and still able to get a hand up is Carter Giberson.
Good boot here. Fielded right around the 31-yard line for Southern Lehigh. And they get good field position again. Nice return by Otto Young, excuse me. So glad you could join us here on this opening night of the high school football season. Al DeCarlo, Terrence Maynard with you from Southern Lehigh Middle School. They did a great job with the stadium. What it used to look like compared to now. Amazing press box. Shout out to BJ Spiegelmeyer, who's the statistician. He's also the sports information director at DeSales University, DeSales Athletics. He's doing the stats. I jokingly said to BJ, 2,999 for Colton Sams. He goes, wasn't 3,000. He goes, you know me with numbers. Known him a long time as well. So, Sams floats that one out, far side. And picking up about 8.5 yards on the carry is Koszynski.
I got to say, ever since that early interception, Sams has seemed a lot more comfortable in the pocket, is able to set his feet, make the throws he needs, and maybe that interception was just a little bit of jitters. Once you get that out, then you're ready to go. And he's starting to duel here through the air.
So they give him 8. Sams goes on the ground, and Stecker not going down. He's still going to be a little short, it looks like. And I was going to say something, but I don't want to say something, and then all of a sudden things change in this game. All right, you're going to ask me what I was going to say.
What were you going to say? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so far, penalty free, only like one penalty or so. So it's been, pretty good that way.
Yeah, and that's something positive for both teams that you want to see. It's week 1. You expect those penalties due to the jitters, due to just being out there for the first time, but pretty clean game on both sides for.
Every time I say the game's moving along, things change.
Yeah, things get jinxed, so knock on wood.
Steckert again, popping through. He'll move the chains. Again, you only need a little room for him to get through.
Yeah.
He's not the biggest guy by any means. 5'9", 175, and he just gets a little seam and he's going.
Well, like you said, he's not the biggest guy. That works out in his favor in terms of not needing so much space to accelerate and make a play. And this offensive line, regardless, has done a great job at opening up holes for Steckert to run through. I think they'll keep doing that, and he'll keep doing that as long as it works.
From the 46, Koshinski. I tell you what, one thing we talked about Coach Sams with, you had asked him, you're going to spread it out a little bit. He goes, we're going to do what they give us.
Yeah.
And, when sometimes you hear coaches say that, no, I think you're going to, you're not sure. But we've seen that tonight, right? They're running the ball, and all of a sudden, as much as you run it, then that passing game opens up. I think he's been mixing a lot.
Yeah, and it's a good balance. It's, the way you want to be, especially, as an offense coming out for the first time. You want to have a good balance of run and pass and just take what the defense gives you. And it's a good job what Sam's been doing in terms of play calling here tonight.
From the 32, Sam's pumps, now throws, has a receiver. It's hanging up there. And it's getting to the 1 yard line. That's Otto Young.
Boy, but sometimes with that balance, you do have to take big shots. And another great opportunity for Southern Lehigh to get down the field. C. Sams, as we said, has been comfortable since that interception, setting his feet, taking a shot. And Otto Young, he's going to have to come back to it, but he's not going to complain about that. That's a great catch and another great big play passing-wise for Southern Lehigh.
So we're seeing two nice catches. He had to come back, like you said, and leaves them again inside the 2 yard line.
Yeah, inside the 1 or 2 yard line, as you said.
Sam's rolling, now tries to feed that one and just gets the edge of the corner.
Yeah, that's
gets
6.
Koshinski for the touchdown from a yard. So Sam's to Koshinski for the touchdown.
Well, and that is something you always like to see. As I said, all game they've been doing play action to make sure they get Sam's the time. Works out here. Krasinski sees his quarterback needs some help, rolls out of the pocket, finds an opening, finds a dead spot, and it's a great throw, great catch by Southern Lehigh.
Spartans, I was going to say, looking to add to the score, but now let's see what this is called. Oh, this is against Southern Lehigh, so they'll move back a little bit for V10 Taurus.
Here's Southern Lehigh. This is exactly how you want your offense to produce. Nice balance of run, pass. Lay it over the top here and there. And it's catalyst of this now 21-0 lead.
So a 2 yard touchdown by Steckert at the 2:03 mark of the first quarter made it 7-0. And Steckert a yard out at the 9-minute mark made it 14-0. Then Sams to Luke Koshinski from a yard out. And it's 21-0 in favor of Southern Lehigh. All right, so now if you're Quakertown, you're looking at the scoreboard, it's 4:16. How urgent, how important? I know there's a long way to go, but again, you don't score here and all of a sudden they do. You're putting yourself in a bad position here. How important is it to go in the locker room with some momentum and a touchdown for you going in?
I mean, it's certainly important, understanding that Quakertown gets the ball to start the second half. If they can find a way to get some momentum down the field and at least put some points on the board. Going into the halftime, there'll be, a lot more, smiling faces. But, that can right there be the catalyst to getting themselves back in it. But it's got to start now on this drive. And hopefully could start a little sooner Maybe a positive kickoff here.
And they now be fielded right around the 14-yard line. And some running space, indeed, for Damian LaWanda Richardson. But that closed quick.
Great tackle made by Silas out of Savage. These teams are hitting tonight. It's what you love to see, Al.
No doubt. Especially on opening night, right?
Oh, yeah.
You always ask the players, were you itching to get to the first practice? Yes, yes. How about the first game? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
You want to get out there. You want to play ball. You've been waiting too long. You've been prepping too long. It's time to go.
Pump and a toss. And biggest play of the night for Elijah Boyd and his team.
And that is
Actually, excuse me, that was Carter Tucholsky.
That is exactly what Quakertown needed. Nice little out route.
That 6 and that 8 get me confused.
Yeah, nice little out route by Tucholsky. Gets some blocks, and now you just got to build on that. Continue to push momentum. Continue to get the ball downfield. Are the Panthers.
So the ball sits at Southern Lehigh's 45-yard line. Martin throws, has a receiver wide open, and he'll connect inside the 15, 10, 5, down to about the 1-yard line. And that time it was Elijah Boyd.
That's all it takes, Al. 2 big plays, 2 quick plays consecutively under center. Nice fake play action, and man, wide open is Boyd. And Steichlen and Pavis getting a little jumbled up. When you got 2 defenders next to each other, it never smells good for the defense, and the Panthers able to take advantage of it.
So just like that, 1st and goal for the 5 for the Panthers. Martin sees nothing and will get crunched up for about a 4-yard loss. Try to see if he could bounce out of that, but could not.
And I give kudos to Southern Lehigh. That was a great time to call a blitz. 1st down, in the red zone, and you send your linebacker in and is able to create some pressure and put down Martin. So great rep defensively for the Spartans. But it's about keeping it going. Can they make a few more stops? Here's we have 2nd and goal.
Yeah, from the 9. Let's see if they got some help here or not. They will. So that'll move them to about inside the 5-yard line. Right around the 4. So it'll be 2nd down, 2:42 on the clock, 21-0 deficit, but knocking at the door. And on the ground they go, spinning through and getting down to about the 1. Coming out of that pile was Kennelly. Kennelly, you've talked about. Solid player at 6'2", 235. Really good player.
Yeah, one of those guys that they're looking to emphasize in terms of getting the ball to and making plays out of. Wouldn't be surprised if they try something here again with him on 3rd down.
3rd and goal. On the ground, pushing through, and no signal. Yes, there is. So that touchdown was scored by Kyler Rassner from a yard out. And they're on the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, I said you give it to a guy like Kennelly. No, use Kennelly as a blocker. People expect, as we see, it's probably going to Kennelly. They just go to the right side with Rosner, and he's able to push it into the end zone and exactly what the Panthers needed. A minute 58 left to go before halftime, getting themselves on the board.
So the 1 yard touchdown, then Magel with the extra point. 21-7, Southern Lehigh still leads. That being said, you're Quakertown, exactly what we talked about up here, right? You did what you had to do in that possession, and you only did it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. But, with that being said, there's still 2 minutes left, and you've got an offense that's clicking on all cylinders. And maybe now Quakertown going to have to find a way to slow this offensive down, or at least just keep them from getting any points as we go into the halftime. So, interesting spot here for both teams, but as you said, positive for Quakertown to be able to get on the board.
Glad you could join us here on opening night of football. Next week, we will head to Parkland High School with a great matchup between Freedom and Parkland.
That is one I'm certainly excited for to see.
But now we talk about, quick scoring teams, Southern Lehigh as well. They know they have 3 timeouts in 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, like I said, they know they have a high-octane offense, one that's been clicking on all cylinders in this first half. I wouldn't be surprised if they try something down the field with, all the 3 timeouts they have and the time of 2 minutes. I mean, it's almost kind of unanimous that they're going to certainly try something, trying to get something moving. So we get kickoff underway here.
This will be returned right around the 7-yard line for the Spartans. And there was I think I saw a flag. Yeah, there is a flag on that return.
Like that was Kozetzky on the return, but as you said, there's a flag, and this one may come back a little bit. Holding on the Spartans, and this one will make its way back a little further. Looking like the ball will be spotted at the 23-yard line. And that is where the Spartans will start. First and 10, 2 receivers set to the right side. A nice play made by number 6, Darius Roman on the slant pattern.
Yeah, 1:45 on the clock, and we talked about it earlier. Running the ball. But you know what? You start doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
This is how we say. We saw it last year, even against Northwestern Lehigh. They can score quickly, and an offense is an offense. You got to have those players where you need them. And suddenly, Phil Sams puts his players in the right position. Sam's looking to throw, pumps twice, now throws, and that one is incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Otto Young, and they'll bring up second down here for the Spartans.
That was a very good job in coverage by Chase Grob for Quakertown, staying one-on-one with Otto Young. Puts us at a second down, but obviously Southern Lehigh is showing that they're not scared to throw the ball and try and advance the ball with minute 21 left to go.
Second down and 10. Ball sits right on the 40, and they'll go to Stecker to see if he can clean up some solid runs, and he does inside the 50. He gets down inside Quakertown territory.
I got to say, Al, it's a luxury for Southern Lehigh to have a guy that you can give the ball to and he can make positive strides with as the Spartans take a timeout. But certainly in the right direction for Southern Lehigh are they going.
So 1:13 on the clock, the timeout, and they'll reset and see what they can do here. Hope you're enjoying our coverage. Again, next week we will be at Parkland High School on a Friday night. It'll be Freedom at Parkland. Parkland playing George Washington, I think, this evening on the road. Northwestern Lehigh, who won a state championship last year. We'll go to your alma mater in Wilson tomorrow afternoon for a 12 p.m. tilt. That's early bird special.
Yeah, I mean, Wilson loves doing those early bird, early afternoon special games, so.
So they will have their first game tomorrow. Right now, a 21-7 lead for the Spartans with the football after giving the Panthers their first score of the game a few minutes prior. So from the 46, Sams, middle part in traffic, has Kosinski. All right, that ball was thrown perfectly and still on his feet.
Wow.
They're trying to strip this ball, and Kosinski's still going inside the 5-yard line down to about the 4. That ball.
Sean, replay the replay when you get a chance, because we got to see that again. That was a laser of a ball.
We're talking about a high school football player.
Yeah.
That ball was thrown in.
I mean,
perfectly.
Krasinski, who's in the slot, that is just over the top, threading the needle. I mean, you can't throw a better football like that. And as you said, Al, that is a high school quarterback doing it. But this kid obviously well beyond his years, able to throw passes like that.
How about extra 16 yards of pickup by Kosinski there afterwards as he gets the ball down to the 5-yard line? Wow. You don't see that every day.
No, you do not.
Here comes Sams. The ball got loose. I thought it did not, or did it?
Looked like it did, but it looked like he was already down.
Okay. So the Spartans will take a timeout here. They'll put 28 seconds on the clock.
I mean, hey, man, if you're suddenly you are now putting yourself in prime position to be able to end this half with another touchdown. Of course, the Panthers get the ball to start the second half. Gosh, Sams has made a lot of great throws in this first half. Able to throw it over the top. Nice throws with the screen, and it's really put Southern Lehigh, as I said, in great position to get some more points on the board as we come back to a second down.
And so it drops them all the way back here, but again, they still have one timeout left. They actually put 30 seconds on the clock. And they toss this one to Jacoby Jacobs. Nowhere to go. They're going to have to take their final timeout here. All right, so now, no more timeouts left. You only got 16 seconds on the clock. Basically, you're throwing it here, correct?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you throw with the intent
I don't know if they took a timeout. I thought they did. Did they not?
Oh, it looks like they're going fast anyway.
Sams goes to the corner. That one was almost picked off. Good look at that one.
And I believe
the clock, yeah. I don't know about this, if that is the end of the quarter or not. That was weird because I wasn't sure if they called a timeout or not. They're checking this here first. We're going to keep it here for a second. Coach Bannis, he's taking his team, he's running off the field.
And
Coach Sams is not happy up here in the booth. It's not us. And I think.
Well, that's half.
Yeah, that's half. And we're going to try to get Coach here with Teagan. You're not going to be happy. I'm not so sure. Oh, I think we will. All right, Teagan standing by.
Coach, 21-7, thoughts on the first half?
We left way too many points on that board. We should have scored there. My fault in clock management. I thought we had it. I should have called timeout. All me. Too many stupid decisions. Defense did a great job giving up one touchdown. I'm frustrated.
For the first half of your first game of the season, how do you think the team is playing?
Sloppy. We're better than that. It shouldn't be 21-7 right now. We're a better football team than that. In the second half, we got to fix some things.
All right, thank you, and good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, Tegan, thanks a lot. We'll take a break. You're watching our D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
The St. Luke's Sportsplex, it's 80,000 square feet under roof, and then of course these 22 beautiful outdoor pickleball courts, 40 million people playing it nationally. Really, people of any ability level can play the game. This facility is fantastic, and we've got an excellent crew of pros and instructors that have really set this facility apart, and we're just getting started. We're looking forward to some exciting changes here over the next few months.
Stay active. St. Luke's Orthopedic Care will get you back to doing what you love. With locations near you, including St. Luke's Orthopedic Hospital West End campus, the best place for orthopedic care is always close to home.
All right, we are back here at Southern Lehigh. Southern Lehigh scoring, leading here by a score of 21-7. They could add to that lead. They did not. Coach not happy. With that, we go down to the field, and Tegan Tremba is with the man of the night and Don Herrickle. Tegan?
Here with Don Herrickle. He is being honored tonight at Southern Lehigh. He was here for 50 years and 25 years at 80. So how does it feel to be honored tonight?
It's wonderful. I've really enjoyed working here. I have so many great memories of all the sporting events and all the coaches and students. But it's nice to be recognized.
Yeah, 50 years. I'm sure there's a lot of memories. But tell me, what's one that sticks out to you?
Well, probably one of the ones would be the state championship in field hockey. We also had a state champion in tennis, which was awesome to see. But just, sometimes it's not even the wins or the losses. It's the kids and the coaches that you remember. We played a game in boys basketball years ago in Reading against a team that was very good. At halftime, we were probably down about 20, 25 points. If we would have had about one more minute in the game, we would have won. We played an excellent second half, and it was great to be there and to be part of it and see it.
Yeah, that's just some great memories. State championships, I'm sure, always stick with you for a long time.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure the school has changed a lot since you've been here and since you started, so especially this stadium. So what are your thoughts on, these new stadium renovations?
Oh, this stadium is awesome. It's something we had wanted for years. I'm glad the school board finally decided to spend the money on it because it's so universal. You can use it for so many different sports, and you don't have to cancel because of weather.
Especially on a beautiful night like this, it's very fun, excitement in the air. I also heard you were on the D11 swim committee, so talk about that a little bit.
Well, I'm going into my 24th year as being the swimming and diving meet director for District 11. I got involved with that years ago when my daughter was swimming, and I haven't given it up. And now my daughter's now the head swimming and diving coach at Parkland.
Very nice. I go to Parkland, so.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Congratulations on being honored, and have a great night.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Yep.
All right, Tegan, great job. And we'll get ready for another special guest coming up in a second. And we can line him up as well. Someone very, very familiar to D11 Sports. Obviously, his dad, Tim Monsman, AJ Monsman. Just a tremendous, tremendous story, AJ. He's been with us for a while. He's done a great job with our program. He's now at East Stroudsburg University. He's coaching football. He's here, I think, recruiting tonight. A great story. And he's down. He was here at the school at Southern Lehigh, but obviously the connection with Parkland. And we go down with Tegan and AJ.
All right, here with my buddy AJ Muntzman. AJ is a graduate from Southern Lehigh now, and do you want to tell the viewers a little bit what you're doing now?
The viewers at home, yeah. So I was a graduate of Southern Lehigh. I now attend East Stroudsburg University. I'm going into my junior year. I'm a communications major with a concentration in media, mostly because of D11 Sports. But I also coach football there, so just here, got to see some of the young talent, and I'm excited to be here.
As you worked with D11, what are some of your favorite memories with D11?
My favorite memories, anything that doesn't have to do with Al, that's a good memory. No, just all these guys, just the camaraderie between, Al, Dave, Matt, just, all the guys and everybody that works there, getting to be friends with all the students, and just keeping in touch with them, Chase down at High Point, Kieran at Ole Miss, you obviously in high school still, but just, the camaraderie of everybody and all the student reporters, that's kind of what sticks out.
Yeah, and now you're coaching long snappers, so I was wondering, your dad, he's had a lot of success as a coach. Has he taught you anything as a coach?
Yeah, my dad is, a big influence of why I wanted to coach, right? He's been in the high school coaching for probably 25 years, 25 plus. His first high school job was actually at Southern Lehigh. That's a fun fact. Before that, he was in college, so, I've just been around football my whole life. It's been a great experience for me. He's just kind of taught me, like, the passion. Coaching has no time clocks in it. You got to work to be deserving, in coaching, and, just the passion. Like, you don't do this if you don't love football. And just, the passion for football, the relationships that you get in football are just second to none. So, that's why, I love to coach and what I'm grateful for.
Definitely, and I'm so happy for you that you enjoy coaching, and hopefully Parkland's winning right now.
It's definitely going to be an easier weekend for me if they win, but they have a tough squad at George Washington right now, so we'll see how that goes. Last time I checked, I think they were up by a couple scores, but we'll see what happens there.
All right, and you're at Southern Lehigh. You graduated from here. How's it feel to be back?
Different. When I was here, there was no turf. They got the new stadium here. They got a new field. So definitely different, but Southern Lehigh, I'm so glad I went here. I'm so happy, for the memories I made. I was in the marching band, playing drums, so it's great to hear them. They sound great. Props to Mr. Fisher for that. But yeah, no, just I'm happy to be back. Southern Lehigh will always be, a big part of my life. So, just really glad that, I was able to go here and happy to be back.
All right, well, final question, and be careful. Who is your favorite Tremba?
Who's my favorite Tremba? I'm not going to answer that on air because there's a lot of video proof of this, so I don't want there to be any evidence out there. So I'm just gonna walk away from that question.
All right. Well, I think Trey and Ty know the answer, but all right.
We'll see.
All right. Thank you, AJ. Back to you.
All right, great job by Tegan Tremba down there with AJ. AJ just a great student of ours. Just loves taking shots at me. It was 4 seconds into the interview, he's already taking shots at me as well. Obviously, he graduated from here. His sister, Taylor, she graduated from here. She's now coaching down at High Point in lacrosse. And Chase Eller, who went to Wilson, he's down there, and he's kind of covering her now, doing some communication down there as well. So just that Lehigh Valley connection we love to see, with our students as well. It was a great interview there and great catching up with AJ each and every time he's here. He's just a tremendous person. He's got lots of talent, and he's got a bright future ahead, for sure. And he always makes me smile, always makes me laugh. Without that, let's go down the field. Let's listen into the band a little bit. We had Don Herrickle, we had AJ Monsman. The band takes off. We'll take a quick break and be back right after this. You're watching our D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
Did you know the Greater Lehigh Valley's largest provider of healthcare education is right here at St. Luke's, a place where more than 2,700 medical students, nursing students, and allied healthcare professionals are part of something bigger, training side by side with the region's top physicians and medical minds in over 100 medical disciplines. We are a destination for transformational learning right here in the Lehigh Valley. We are a part of the community we serve. training the future of healthcare in the region. We are St. Luke's.
Did you know that every year our nation's hospitals are graded on quality and safety? Did you know this information is publicly available? St. Luke's has earned 5 stars for quality and straight A's for safety. Can your hospital say that?
We are back. Score 21-7. Aldi Carl, Terrence Maynor. Glad you could join us. And, AJ, they were talking about Parkland's game with George Washington going to be close. Parkland scored with 30 seconds left in the half. They lead 16-6. That's how close that game is. It was 9-6 with 2 minutes left. Let's take a look at some first half highlights. Interesting. There's going to be a lot more, for Southern Lehigh. But, when you start with the opening kickoff and gets things done, it works for you, right, Terrence?
Yeah, that's certainly the catalyst to a good game. Good opening drive here especially. But that opening kickoff from Steckert really got them going down. And then you can see here, this was the interception by Brady Martin on that first drive that led to Quakertown getting the ball.
And, they're coming down. They're ready to score, and all of a sudden Martin comes with that. And then, they get the ball back, but it wasn't for long, though.
Yeah, and, of course, here we cannot miss this hit by Steckert, popping the ball free, getting the ball back for the Spartans.
That was we've seen some good plays. You'll see. We've seen some good plays in this first half of play. It's only one half, but there was a bunch there.
Yeah, bobbling the ball here. Sam's able to control it, give it to Steckert, and Steckert driving to the end zone. That was our first touchdown of the game.
Yep, 2 yards on the score. It came with the 2:03 mark to make it 7-0.
Another situation here. A little bobble, and Southern Lehigh has done a really good job up front controlling the line of scrimmage, making sure that the Panthers, have to earn every bit of yard that they want in this game. I think that's really been one of the difference makers here.
Yeah, Kate Bogert comes up with that big play. A lot of number 3.
Yeah, again, when you have a guy like Steckert where you can give the ball to in any situation and he can produce and make plays, you're going to continue to give the ball to him. That's what they've done here. But, we can't sit here and not talk about Southern Lehigh without talking about Sam's. He has been dueling today. This catch by Kozinski, put him down at the 2-yard line, and then they were able to punch it in here again.
I think you talked about this before. When you all of a sudden you go with a full house backfield and you add an extra spot for him, you don't know if he's going right, left, or straight through the middle, and that is even bigger, knowing that he just needs a little seam to get through and makes it 14-0.
Yeah, and that's what he's been doing all game, has Steckert. And play here by the Panthers. Play here by the Spartans. This is Giberson, who was able to get a big paw in there on 3rd down.
Big guys get happy, huh?
Yeah.
They're happy. They're happy.
Yeah, well, big guys like making big plays, and that's exactly what happened here. And just another dime from Sam's. This time, Otto Young able to make the catch, coming back to it, and it was a good passing half for Southern Lehigh. Of course, the most recent touchdown for Southern Lehigh. Again, it was Colton Sams giving out to Kozinski for another 6 points. And of course, the Panthers were able to make some strides. This out route thrown by Martin. Beautiful, beautiful pickup by Carter Tolsky.
Yeah, it was the best drive of them. We said it, there was a couple minutes on the clock, 4 minutes or so. They scored quickly.
Yeah.
This is part of their drive. This one, you said it, wide open here on the pass play.
Wide open. This one was Elijah Boyd, who was able to just run a nice little corner route and find some space through. And then again, Quakertown able to finish off this drive with a score. This one to Kyler Rosner. And that score puts us at 21-7.
Yeah, but that being said, all of a sudden Quakertown has literally 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah.
And they get going again a little bit.
Yeah. Suddenly I hear nice catch by Darius Roman. Nice throw by Sams on the slant route. And something Southern Lehigh has been able to do well is, they've been throwing these bubble screens, and then finally, as we see here, when they need a big play to take it off the top, They're able to find one. Luke Kozenski on the seam route here. That's what put them down in the red zone, and that's where we find us at 21-7.
So Coach Sam's not happy, obviously. He called it himself. I thought they called a timeout. They didn't call a timeout. You said, oh, they're going to go quick. They opt to go quick, but the ball goes out. Next thing you know, the time expires.
Yeah.
And, your coach, Bannis, you're running off the field. You're like, I don't even want to listen to the officials. I'm going to make sure that we're okay there. But they dodged a bullet. It should have been 28-7. It is not 28-7. And instead, Quakertown gets the football. This first drive really will set the tone for the rest of the game.
Yeah, Quakertown's got to understand that. They, kind of lucked out by, the clock expiring. They were able to score on their last drive, and now they have to, come into this game, come into this half, having the ball, and they've got to build some momentum. They've got to put something through the air. Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, there's your light show. We always say it's great for the stadium, never great for TV, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was confused thinking we were having a little outage or something like that.
With the stadium's courts and fields are quiet and the crowds are gone, St. Luke Sports Medicine is still at work in athletic training rooms, on sidelines, and at practices, before games and after games, no matter your sport or position. St. Luke's is on your team with the best athletic trainers, performance coaches, physical therapists, and orthopedic sports medicine physicians and surgeons. We'll get you back on your feet and back in the game. St. Luke's is the region's only varsity team in sports medicine. If you're a student from any District 11 school or interested in broadcasting, journalism, or photography, check out d11sports.com. Follow your dream, get close to the action. Take part in our student internship program. For more information, contact your athletic director or reach out to myself or Dave at d11sports.com. Today's game also brought to you by Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. G. Talley Carpet and Floor, your hometown source for all your floor covering needs. Carpet, laminate, vinyl plank, hardwood, and tile. Expert installation available. The flooring experience you deserve. Located at 2155 Milford Square Pike. Call 267-347-4841 today. Can't take you through the scoring. You had the interception by Brady Martin early that stopped the drive. Eventually came back. 2 minutes, 3 seconds on the clock. A 2-yard touchdown by Sean Steckert. Made it 7-0. That was your score at the end of one quarter. At the 9-minute mark, Steckert again from a yard out and made it 14-0. Then Colton Sams to Luke Koshinski from a yard. Made it at the 4:16 mark. Made it 21-0. And then Kyler Rassner, a 1-yard touchdown run by Quakertown. That came at the 1:58 mark to make it 21-7. And that is your score here at the half. Again, it will be Quakertown that will receive the football here as we start the second half of football on a night where Don Harrickle being honored here as well. I want to thank both athletic directors, Brian Leacano and Matt Spengler from Southern Lehigh, for their hospitality, or, Matt doing a great job with us as well. And this press box is just indeed perfect. There's a lot of space in here.
Oh, yeah.
Usually we don't get this much space, and just, they did a great job with it, as Don Harrickle mentioned, has A.J. Monsman mentioned as well. We're sitting up here. We know it feels great and everything else. Your thoughts of the first half, if you're Quakertown, what they need to do?
Well, simply put it, you just have to take what you have in the second half. That is the ball, only down by 14, and you got to drive. You got to build some momentum. You cannot let Southern Lehigh, when they get back on the field offensively, think that they can put their foot on the gas and just keep it pushing. So if you are the Panthers, this drive is so important in terms of just building some momentum, building off of that last touchdown, and keeping this game pushing in your direction, in your favor. Of course, if you're Southern Lehigh on the other side, defensively, like Coach Sam said, he's very happy with the way this offensive line, or this defensive line, this front seven played. And if you're Southern Lehigh defensively, you don't want to, cut anything you've been doing. You want to keep driving the issue, being that dominant force up front, and keep making plays on this offense for Quakertown.
All right, one half in the books, one half to play. Opening night of football here. And now it's dark. We went from the daylight to the nighttime. And now officially Friday Night Lights. And this one will be around the 11-yard line as they'll field that one. A lot of space in the middle part of the field. And just take it off right through the defense and then just flying through.
That was Damian Richardson, I believe.
Yep.
And
So
that-
Richardson, a burst of speed through there and gives him great field position.
Exactly what you need if you're the Panthers. An explosive play, great blocks up the middle by Richardson, able to burst and accelerate through the hole. And now they get the ball like they're going back from their original spot.
So we say key possession here if you're Quakertown. You come back, you make that big play, a big burst, get your team energized, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're back where you're at.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, exactly the spark your team needed. Now you just have to build and capitalize on that if you're the Panthers.
So they'll start things now again, but this time from the 25-yard line. Underway, second half. Throws far side. Not much there at all. Picking about a yard and coming up a little hobbly was Elijah Boyd, a 5'11", 170-pound sophomore. They go quick, no huddle here. 4 receivers, 2 split either side. And then they'll take it to the ground. And they ran right into number 77.
Yeah, man.
Right into Giberson.
Giberson's been a force on this D-line all game, and doesn't seem like there's any slowing down from him. And certainly if you want to get some success going for the Panthers, you're going to have to find a way to slow him down or at least impede him for a little bit. Nevertheless, a third down.
So third down here. First down marker right around the 35-yard line. And throws one, and last second tapped away. How about that defense?
That was, looks like Leighton Shook on the play, and a great job by Shook just staying with the receiver the whole way on his hip, as we see here. I think it was a good idea from Brady, one-on-one situation, but Shook, as we said, right there the whole way. That was Elijah Boyd who was on the cover, who was the receiving target.
He's 5'8", Shuck is, but didn't look like 5'8" there.
Yeah,
He went up.
well, when you have, someone who's smaller like that, you use that bit of speed to your advantage. Exactly what he did to keep up and get a hand on there. Get him off the field.
So if you're Southern Lehigh, hey, you dodge a bullet there. That could be a first down. You're inside Southern Lehigh territory. Now it's not. Again, I know Phil Sams. I've known him in a while. He wasn't happy at half.
Yeah.
He wasn't happy. And he took it. He blamed himself for it, and he took it. I don't know if you're running here. I think they're throwing the ball. That's just me. I know nothing about football. I'm just here on your sidekick, all right? Let's see what happens there.
Yeah, I can attest that they want to get something passed down the field, but we'll see.
They'll start from the 25. Told you they were going to run the ball. I don't know what you were thinking. And then they get the first down after a pick up about 13.
Well, they're certainly not going to abandon the run game, especially the way Stecker played in that first half. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I don't know why you were thinking they were going to throw the ball right away.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Hal.
All right, so they moved the chains. They had the ball at the 38-yard line. Teams watching tonight, and they're watching Southern Lehigh. Obviously, they're not just Steckert.
Yeah.
They got Steckert. They got Sams. They got receivers. They got linemen.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, and certainly the other 9 teams that have to face them are certainly watching close.
Come to the sideline. Pass completion in the hands of Roman, and Roman fires upfield, and enough for the first down, moving the chains.
Sometimes you just got to give it short to one of your guys and let him make a man miss. Roman, a nice little curl route, catching it, juking one defender and accelerating up the sideline for, yes, another first down.
You look, and we'll share their schedule on this drive, but the teams that they face this year, again, they dropped down last year from 5A to 4A, so they're 4A classification. But the teams they face this year are pretty tough teams that are always legit. And we'll share that unless there's a big play here on the next play. They go back to Steckert on the ground. And Steckert gains a few. Next week they're home here against Blue Mountain. Blue Mountain's going to have a tough team this year. Then they go on the road at Lehigh, who's in a barn burner right now in their game in opening night. And then at North Schuylkill, who's always good.
Yeah.
They get Pottsville at home, which is the benefit to get them at home. At Jim Thorpe and Tamaqua. Then they go home and home against Bangor and Saucon Valley. And then they end at Northwestern Lehigh. You know, a lot of people think, they'll both be 9-0 before they get to that game. We've seen that in years past. Stecker pops forward. He'll bring up a third down. But there's a lot there before you get to Northwestern.
Yeah.
And
of course, that game in Northwestern, that Week 10 game, always a big game. But 1 week at a time, Al. You got to take it, 1 week at a time. Go through your opponents each week. Make sure you prep in the same way you would prep for an opponent that, would be a Northwestern Lehigh. And I think, there could be a true situation where they do get to a 9-0 situation at the end of that Week 10. But, hey, we'll see. Certainly starting off hot here.
Quakertown, that was the closest they got to stopping them, and the spot is close. They'll have, let's see what they're doing here. I think they're going to go anyway. But, it's 21-7. You have that line. I was surprised at where they spotted it. I thought it was actually a little closer than that.
Yeah, it looked like it. But like you said, you have this offensive line that can create pressure, create space, and they're going up quick while the Spartans.
Stecker pushes through, and he got it just barely. But the indication is moving those chains.
I like in these situations that Southern Lehigh, pushes the issue in terms of, moving the ball quick, no huddle, really have Quakertown having to stay on their toes, not being able to think in terms of how they want to play the offense with this no huddle action.
So the ball at the 42. It's the open drive for Southern Lehigh after Quakertown's drive stalled. Back on the ground, Stecker gets right down to about the 39-yard line, depending on where they spot this one. Glad you could join us. 4 minutes into quarter number 3 at 21-7. Southern Lehigh has controlled this game. Quakertown down from Suburban 1. But that being said, even though they play at Suburban 1, they are literally the next town over from Southern Lehigh. They're connect.
Yeah, even Coach Sam said, they're connected and so close to each other, so this game is pretty important.
So they'll mark it right at the 40. Sams comes near side and will deliver. And a solid pickup into the hands of a sophomore in Tana Traub.
Another first down for Southern Lehigh. Out there, usually they were at least one of the drives they were trying to take something off the top, throw over top, but no, they've been keeping this short and sweet, small plays or small routes for these receivers, trying to get it through the run on the ground. Interesting opening drive for the Spartans.
Oh, here comes the pressure. They just float that one out, and Stecker's got a lineman in front of him. Stecker has the first down. He's going to follow 71 through, and Stecker gets popped right after there. That was Cody Westner who led the charge in front of him, and he said, listen, big guy, you just go right in front of me. I'm going to hold right at your back.
Yeah, well, when you have these big boys up front, especially your Stecker, you're smiling heavy. Take a look here. Nice little screen route, able to bait the defensive line. And
watch. Go right there.
Yeah, just give him a little push, give him a little shove, and, well, that was Brady Martin.
Yeah, nice stick.
Coming in with a nice little licking. So, hey, he's a quarterback, but he is also a DB. He will lay it on you, but nevertheless, a great drive or great play by Southern Lehigh to get down the field.
They can get a first down to 1. They're at the 11-yard line. They give it back to Stecker. Stecker just swipes through the defense, and I thought he got in.
Yeah, it looked like he
mark him at the
extended
1
forward.
again.
Yeah, again at the 1. But, hey, just
he just went through it sideways, and just that's what got him through that defense.
Great job by the center, Luke Sutyak, leading the charge. And Stecker's been very patient, letting his offensive line get to their blocks before he bursts through. But when he does burst through, it's big strides. First and goal.
They give it to Steckert. He's got the line in front of him. He's got the extra back in there. 1 yard touchdown, not a surprise. Steckert has his third of the day.
Great drive by the Spartans. Short and steady wins the race. Of course, they love this full house set. They've been coming out in it when they got to these situations. Give it to Steckert, and that's just a no-brainer. Give it to your big back. Let him do the work. And another touchdown for the Spartans.
So extra point by V. Tantoris is good, and they extend their lead to 28-7, does Southern Lehigh. And that was a pretty, not long drive, but enough to take the clock down to 5:46.
And that's what you want to do in, the second half, especially when you have this kind of lead. All of your offensive drives, you can now kind of slow the pace down, put it to a situation where you guys are comfortable, and ultimately just expunge that clock. Great job there by Southern Lehigh to do so.
As far as Quakertown is concerned, they'll be at Pennsbury next week. North Penn at home, then back-to-back road games at Ben Salem, at Souderton. Then home for Council Rock, back to 2 on the road with Upper Dublin and Truman. And then 2 back at home with Council Rock South and Cheltenham. And they finish things off with Penridge. Well, they finished with Cheltenham, and then they have the Thanksgiving Day game with Penridge. We talk about the season being early. Talk about the season being now. When it gets into state championships and you have those players, those athletes, wrestlers or basketball players or whatever, and you go deep in and, it's the earliest bit. I mean, heck, next year let's just start on the 15th of August and change it up even more.
Hey, don't mind me. The earlier we can get into the football season, the better.
The NFL teases us a little bit. They give us the 3 preseason games, and they say, okay, now you got to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean,
you can't do that to us.
Hey, that's how they get the fans going, the fans wild up and ready to ride. I'm certainly ready for NFL season as well.
No question. All right, so now if you are Quakertown, they'll spread it here. I think you're going to see some passing, but again, you can't abandon that run, but they got to get back in this game if they can. Toss on the far side, and the reception was made by Ben Hutchinson.
There's, like you said, you want to get some passing going, but they're still kind of doing the small dinks and dumps. That right there, a nice bubble screen with a block in front, and maybe they're going to need to try and get something over the top like they did on that which led to that opening touchdown for the Panthers.
Yeah, we saw that pass play earlier that was just about there, and it didn't connect. I'll move the chains and get the first down. Carried by Jackson Kennelly. Kennelly is senior. And not sure what player is down for Southern Lehigh. I couldn't see a number. St. Luke's training staff out there. That being said, no matter your sport or position, St. Luke Sports Medicine can train you to avoid injury. And if you do get injured, we're the best athletic trainers, performance coaches, physical therapists, and orthopedic sports medicine physicians and surgeons to get you back on your feet and back in the game. St. Luke's is the region's only varsity team in sports medicine. If you're a student from any District 11 school interested in broadcasting, journalism, or photography, check out d11sports.com. Follow your dream, get close to the action. Take part in our student internship program. For more information, contact your athletic director. Reach out to myself or Dave at d11sports.com. Looks like from here, it's a little cramping going on.
Yeah, we knew we were going to get them at some point. It's week 1. It's your first time getting out there in what seems like over a year. Going to be a little cramping going, but fortunately it's nothing worse than that.
You said you said the game was moving quickly earlier, so I think you jinxed it. Was that you?
That was you, Al. That's
Steckert.
That's a little cramping.
See, Terrence he's getting a little more feisty. I like that.
Hey, I was already excited, already jittery with the season upon us. Don't get me wild up, Al.
Oh, boy.
Steckenhefer to come out, and hopefully he'll be out for just a small amount of time. He's huge in what they do on both sides of the ball, as we've already talked about.
Yeah, 3 rushing touchdowns tonight. On the reverse. And give it right back and just take it off.
Wow.
Down the sideline and gone. 67 yards for the touchdown.
That is Elijah Boyd. Boy, and that is exactly what you needed if you are Quakertown. Take a look. Nice jet sweep, reverse. And Boyd just accelerates through.
Thought he was going to get taken down there. He just pushed back and still accelerated.
Gets a stiff arm behind him and keeps it churning. And like I said, exactly what Quakertown needed.
Yeah, another player for Southern Lehigh on the ground in the end zone. That cuts the lead here with the 4:46 mark to 28-13. You know, good eyes on you.
Now we're starting to get the cramping going, and it happens. Week 1.
Actually, we got a correction there. We're going back and forth looking at the replay. That was not Boyd.
It was not Boyd.
That was Tucholsky.
Oh, like you said earlier, 6 and 8 get a little confusion.
Yep, but we have it in slow motion. I thought you were correct.
Yeah.
I looked at it 5 times here.
Nevertheless, still a phenomenal play for the Panthers.
All right, so another player making his way off the field. Let's take a look at it one more time.
Under center.
All right, there it is. That's wow. It's so hard to tell.
It certainly is hard to tell, but
Yep, it looks like it may be 6.
yeah, it looks like it is 6.
Yes,
yeah, that is certainly 6.
Okay, all right,
So
Sean. Sean, we'll give you that. So
Yeah.
let's give the credit where credit's due. Carter Tucholsky, the sophomore, he gets the touchdown.
My
from
apologies
67 yards.
to Tucholsky and mixing up the numbers. But hey, Al, that's what I said. It's exciting. Exciting to be out here. And Quakertown still showing that they're in it with a nice PAT attempt to put them down by only 14 now with 4:46 left to go.
Yeah, right back into the game.
Yeah.
Again, for the Quakertown viewers, we apologize there. Again, I think we've given both credit one way or the other because we've gotten those mixed up a couple times.
Yeah, it happens.
Tucholsky at 6'1", 175. Boyd at 5'11", 170. With that, regardless, 28-14 your score with 4:46 on the clock. So, again, it didn't take long for Quakertown to score.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at the touchdown scored, is it 5:46 by Stecker? They scored literally a minute later.
Yeah. Exactly what they needed in terms of getting some points on the board, and they still have time. They only need 2 touchdowns, but their defense is going to need to produce in terms of getting this offense off the field.
We have not seen a ball go into the end zone tonight by either team. On the return is Silas out of Savage. And they'll bring out the opening, the Southern Lehigh unit again. offense. And that being said, there is a flag
Yeah.
on the play right around the 22-yard line.
Looks like there was holding on the special teams play by Southern Lehigh, so putting back a few.
So I mentioned B.J. Spiegelmeyer's doing the stats for Southern Lehigh. Steckert has the 3 touchdowns, already has a $144 on the ground.
Wow. Certainly knew he was going to be a pivotal point in this offense. And fortunately, after the cramp, he is back in the game. Keep this drive going in a 1st down and 10.
Yeah, they'll start Sandsville at the 12-yard line. Steckert back in the game, which is a good thing. They put that right into the pocket of Darius Roman. And Roman will bust all the way across right near midfield. That quick release by Sams is something to watch.
Yeah, and this is a nice little callback, what they did earlier before the end of the half. Slot guy with a bubble screen. Then they have Roman on the slant pattern. And just right behind the defender, and Darius Roman able to catch and go, and exactly what you want to see. Catch it short, take it long for Southern Lehigh.
So up to the 46. Low snap on the ground, really nowhere to go. Once that snap went low, it gave enough time for the linemen to just make their way across and take down Steckert.
That's the thing about offense, thing about football, when if you hesitate even a little bit, gives guys enough time to recover, gives guys enough time to get around the ball. That's why things have to be precise. And for the most part, for Southern Lehigh, they have. On that play, a little different, though.
Nice evening here at Southern Lehigh for opening night of the football season here in 2025. They'll line up 2 receivers near side. 2nd down. Man in motion. And they'll fake it to Steckert. Now they'll come. That ball I thought it got tipped. It did not. And I'll tell you what, they have a fine receiver in number 80.
Yeah, they do.
He's made a couple big plays tonight, went back for the ball, and Luke Kaczynski has done a good job. 6 foot 180. I don't think he plays that way, though.
Well, I mentioned before in pregame, Kaczynski was, part of the band. It looked like he was, playing a little bit of trumpet, so talented in all facets. But, yes, as you said, they're getting themselves a great receiver in Kaczynski, who's making plays all game long for Southern Lehigh.
Steckert just gets the handoff and will curl through. We'll get the 1st down. Still on his feet. Gets down to about the 26-yard line. Just a smooth rusher.
Absolutely no.
Again, you don't rush for 2,000-plus yards in a season for any reason, right?
No, indeed, great job making the first guy miss. That looked like Rosener, the first guy he was able to make miss and accelerate to the left side. Like you said, you don't rush for 2,000 yards of the season just out of nowhere.
And 34 rushing touchdowns, already has 3 tonight.
It's insane. Insane numbers.
Spartans with the lead. The ball sits at the 26-yard line. We got to delay a game. Coach Sams will come talk to Coach Sams while they move it back 5 yards. You look tonight, we saw some big plays, but the one that Sams threw, that is a highlight reel right there.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, what's play you talking about? The one over top?
Nope, the one that went right through 3 defenders.
The seam laser. Yeah, that's certainly a play that when you watch film, this coming Monday, whenever they watch film, there's going to be a lot of cheers going on for that play.
Yeah. All right, 1st down marker sitting right around the 17-yard line. Sams to throw. Pumps, gets hit hard as he throws it, but he does complete the pass into the hands of Darius Roman. And once again, if you're suddenly, it seems like they always get to about the 11, 12-yard line.
Yeah.
And then get down to the 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Great flag at the end of that play. Flag came out.
So we had a relatively clean first half. I don't think it's going to be the case for the second half.
Sideline warning.
Sideline warning. All right. I get it. You get excited, you get jittery, but you got to stay up that sideline. I get it.
Actually moved the ball back to about the 12-yard line.
Great job by Sams that last play to stay tough in the pocket and still make a throw.
So 3 receivers, 2 split near side, 1 to the far side. Here from the 12. Sams will keep it on the ground. He goes to Steckert. Got popped early and gets taken down on the play. First guy in there was Luke Bakula. Bakula, 6'1", 195-pound senior for Quakertown.
Now, if you're Quakertown here, your focus is just making a stop. You know, anything you can. If you can get them to no points, if you can get them to just a field goal, that smells positive for you trying to crawl back into this one.
Ball right on the 10, and they'll keep it on the ground. Down to about the 8-yard line. This is an interesting call here on 3rd down. That being said, you know they're going regardless.
Yeah.
They've been doing it all night long.
And if you're Quakertown, you could possibly expect, especially on this 3rd down, of
an extra guy back there.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what they have. Another full house set, and they split out Leitner in motion.
Yeah, he gets a good block in front, trying to get in, and does. Wow.
4 touchdowns.
8 yards, that one. What a night here by Steckert.
Picking up right where he left off last year. But looks like there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, I didn't see the flag until the end.
Well, here we go. The full house set. They have Leitner motion out left and quick toss out left to Steckert. Some great blocks, and if you're Steckert, it's just you and a DB, and you got to be able to beat the DB to the pylon, and that's exactly what Steckert was able to do to get into the end zone for another touchdown.
Terrence, did you see the penalty?
I did not see what the penalty was, nor did they call it. Maybe it's a flag that they picked up, but still looks like still looks like it's still a touchdown.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I trying to figure out what was going on there. It was a big delay, but Steckert will get the 8-yard touchdown with 45 seconds left in the 3rd. So he's, like you mentioned, 4th on the day. Kick up and good. And that increases the lead. So in control right now are the Spartans as they lead 35-14. Well, still 45 seconds left here in quarter number 3, and it's been Southern Lehigh who has dominated for the most part from tonight. From the opening kickoff, again, there was that interception by Brady Martin that stalled the opening drive, but there was almost 2 or 3 possessions there that went back and forth, no one doing anything, and it was held on the left side of the field for a while. But then things started to change, and they, have control of this one. Let's see now. I mean, if you are Quakertown, you're gonna have to score and score off. And now all of a sudden you look at the clock. You got a quarter left.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
You know, you still have to have a bit of a sense of urgency. I mean, you're down 21. The defense hasn't really, done too much to be able to slow down Southern Lehigh. So offensively, you're going to have a bit of a sense of urgency. Try and get the ball downfield in chunks now rather than, slow and steady.
Spartans to kick off. This ball right at the 20-yard line on the return. He's had some good returns all night long. Has Damon Lawande Richardson, a 5'5", 145-pound freshman. G-Tally Carpet and Floor, your hometown source for all your flooring needs. Carpet, laminate, vinyl plank, hardwood, and tile. Expert installation available. The flooring experience you deserve. Located at 2155 Milford Square Pike. Call 267-347-4841. That's 267-347-4841.
Another nice stop for Southern Lehigh on the ground.
Not sure if they'll run a play here. They don't really have to, but they may see if they can get one off here, but I just don't think they're going to get it off. So 10 seconds on the clock.
I think you're Quakertown. Try and get him to jump.
Yep, they'll get it off. And look to throw. He has some time. Now throws, has a receiver incomplete. And the receiver thought maybe, as at the last play of the quarter, there was someone behind him, so he decided to opt out. So 3 in the books, 1 to play opening night. It's 35-14. Southern Lehigh over Quakertown. You're watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
The St. Luke's Sportsplex, it's 80,000 square feet under roof, and then of course these 22 beautiful outdoor pickleball courts, 40 million people playing it nationally. Really, people of any ability level can play the game. This facility is fantastic, and we've got an excellent crew of pros and instructors that have really set this facility apart, and we're just getting started. We're looking forward to some exciting changes here over the next few months.
Stay active. St. Luke's Orthopedic Care will get you back to doing what you love. With locations near you, including St. Luke's Orthopedic Hospital West End campus, the best place for orthopedic care is always close to home.
We are back. We go to the fourth, 35-14 in favor of Southern Lehigh. And Brady Martin will take this offense and see if he can do something here and do something quickly. He gets flushed out of the pocket and decides to go for it, and he will gain 3-4 yards. Didn't like the way he landed there.
Kind of got sandwiched by
he did.
Giberson.
So that's to punt the football away. So a big game between Northern Lehigh and Lehigh. This last year, the Schuylkill League and Colonial League together. It's 20-13. Bulldogs just took the lead in that one. Interesting because Lehigh looked like they'd be much better than they were a year ago. Some good teams in that Schuylkill League this year. Couple moves, and Spartans didn't waste no time right there. Terrence getting the football back right away.
Yeah. Certainly what they want to do, starting to really take this clock down in the fourth quarter, but hey, why not? If you have an opportunity to keep the ball rolling, keep the ball pushing offensively, you keep it doing. If you're Quakertown, it's a must that you get stops here quick. If you want to have any chance, down 21 already. Another give to Steckert, and he goes left side and keeps it pushing.
Yeah, Steckert's right there, right around 200. Maybe a couple more carries for him. 1 minute into the fourth. Terrence, what's different for you, watching the game from this perspective than being down in the field or being in the stands? How do you see it differently, and how much do you like it from this angle?
Well, obviously, not having to be so physical, not having to get hit all the time is one of the reasons why I like being up here. But it's just a different perspective, different way in how you see the game, the preparation, week in and week out in terms of how coaches and players get themselves ready for these games. It's a lot different from the booth. Of course, plays like this.
Sam's goes up and sends that one
Wow.
where it has to be, and the catch is made, and that's Darius Roman. He's getting all his receivers, or no?
But you see everybody from blue, from Southern Lehigh, has their hands on the helmets. This one looks like it's coming back. Oh, that is just a drive killer, man.
You can't take away the great pass again by Sams. Again, only a junior.
Saw in motion and a shot down to
Roman.
Yeah, Darius Roman, and a great catch, great adjustment on the ball, but someone up front looked like they were holding, and as I said, just a drive killer. Make a big play like that, and then you see the yellow marker on the floor, and just a real bummer for Southern Lehigh. Start off again, another first down and 10 situation. Sam's going to throw again, and this time incomplete. Was looking for, I believe, Saller Hummel, number 18 for Southern Lehigh.
Yeah, interesting. We were talking about the running plays by Steckert. That clock keeps rolling along. They go for a couple pass plays. And it makes it a little bit different. Here's second down and 18. The first down marker is right at midfield after that holding call. And a little too much time there, so Coach Sams will call a timeout, get his team to regroup here a little bit, make sure that they are in the right position. Again, they have a commanding lead right now, 35-14, and just don't want to do anything that's rushed, I would say.
Anything that's too reckless. I mean, you still have to finish this game off. You still have to wait for the clock to strike zero to declare yourself the winner. And like I said, you don't want to do anything that gives Quakertown an opportunity, or at least a thought that, hey, they can push themselves back in this game for Southern Lehigh.
For sure. Support for D11Sports.com Game of the Week comes from Michael R. Glovis, financial advisor at Morgan Stanley in Easton. For all your investment needs, call Michael R. Glovis at 610-559-6380, located at 101 Larry Holmes Drive, Suite 301 in Easton, PA. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. No matter your sport or position, St. Luke's Sports Medicine can train you to avoid injury. If you do get injured, we're there with the best athletic trainers, performance coaches, physical therapists, and orthopedic sports medicine physicians and surgeons to get you back on your feet and back in the game. St. Luke's is the region's only varsity team in sports medicine. So second down and long, 4 receivers. Sam's going to throw. And it has a receiver, but throws behind him. And that was Kuczynski.
They're really taking their shots, are Southern Lehigh, in this fourth quarter. And they're taking shots all game, but especially with a commanding lead, why not just keep it going through the air, or at least try to?
So Sams has made some good throws tonight, and some throws that he made and got called back, though. He'll come near side, float that one again, over to Roman, and Roman flies up the field and gains a chunk of that back. Puts you in a position here if you want to decide to go or not.
Yeah, for sure, but also, in terms of when you decide to punt, it'll give you more advantage in terms of field position on the other team for Southern Lehigh, and I think that's probably what they were looking to do. If not convert, at least put their punter in a situation where he can pin them back a little further.
That's Roman. Punt this one away. And this one will just float in as Brady Martin just let it go. And Quakertown will get the ball back with inside 10 minutes to play here in quarter number 4. Again, we'll be back at it on Friday of next week, as we will be at Parkland High School to see Freedom and Parkland in a week 2 battle. Everybody talking about week 0, week 1, week 2.
Yeah.
That's there's 10 weeks in the season.
It is week 1. I don't know about no week 0.
And then that's it. I'm going to say that all the time. So they start on the ground. You know, we talked in the beginning, and you had those numbers of the linemen and everything like that, the size. Talk about the line tonight for Southern Lehigh that really made the difference. You know, showed Steckert, gave time to Sams to throw the football. You know, you could tell that, you know, sometimes the linemen don't get the credit they deserve, but they're the guys that make things happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what Sam said. He wants the guys on the front to control the line of scrimmage, be a dominating presence. That's exactly what they did on both sides of the ball. Of course, Steckert 200-plus yards rushing, and the defensive line just seems to be in the backfield almost any play, whether it's Giberson, whether it's Sutyak. There's always somebody there for Southern Lehigh doing work in that backfield. Timeout call for the Panthers.
Oh, that gives us a chance. I had it here somewhere. There it is. So, looking at the teams, again, I like to do this, especially it's opening week. Now I do have the time. All right. 6A schools we know, right? Allen, Deerfield, Easton, Emmaus, Freedom, Liberty, Nazareth, Northampton, Parkland, Pocono Mountain West, Stroudsburg. Then it becomes interesting because teams have changed, gotten there. The 5A class only has 4 teams, all 4 teams. You know, we'll get in the mix. East Stroudsburg South, Pleasant Valley, Pocono Mountain East, and Whitehall. We'll plan on having East Stroudsburg South and Whitehall in a couple of weeks. Saquon Barkley retiring his number. Obviously some big names there with Matt Millen and you know, the numbers that have been retired there. 4A schools, Central, Bangor, Bethlehem Catholic, Blue Mountain, East Stroudsburg North, Jim Thorpe, Lee Heighton, Pottsville, Southern Lehigh, and Wilson. 3A schools, North Schuylkill, Northwestern Lehigh, Notre Dame Green Pond, Palmerton, Panther Valley, Pine Grove, Salisbury, Saucon Valley, and Tamaqua. 2A schools, Catasauqua, Executive, Mahanoy area, Minersville, Northern Lehigh, Palisades, Penn Argyl, Schuylkill, Shenandoah Valley, and Williams Valley. And looking to throw, flushed out. And coming up with a big sack is Carter Giberson. So Giberson with a play earlier and a play tonight. Matt, you can take a look at this one and show the dominance going through that line.
How many times we're going to talk about Giberson in this game? Well, when you make plays like this, it's going to be a lot. Nice swim move, trying to get around, but still just stays within his rush lane, within his rush integrity. He knows that, you know, he's got a guy in Martin that's a little faster than him, but if he could just, you know, keep him, you know, in front of him, make a tackle like he did, spell success for Southern Lehigh, as it did right there.
Low snap. Here comes the pressure again. Gets out, now throws middle part of the field. Dangerous part to be in. And Southern Lehigh just continues to make plays. I believe that was Shook again.
Yeah, Leighton Shook, and it's a good job by Martin stepping up into the pocket, having that pressure collapsing on him, still trying to make a throw, and a great job by Shook to get a hand in there. Put the ball on the ground.
Some teams in that 1A, Holy Cross, Lackawanna Trail, Marion Catholic, Nativity BVM, Old Forge, and Tri-Valley. That's how they look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 classifications this year. And you get the punt off. And thinking about fielding and taking it up, he will, is Otto Young. Young says, why not? And Young will do a positive return to about the 40-yard line. So solid Young, a solid run by Young. And gives Southern Lehigh another possession. Not sure how many possessions they've had tonight, but Southern Lehigh has controlled really every facet of tonight's game.
Yeah, offense, defense, and special teams, and those are the three facets that you have to be able to control to be able to get a win like here.
Surprised with where the score is tonight. I think you and I both came in, thought maybe be a little bit closer. Really did.
Yeah, a little bit. This is kind of indication where we were last year when we were in Quakertown at this point. It's all about just closing out for Southern Lehigh and doing that effectively.
Steckert just really finishing up his night the way he went. That one inside the 25-yard line. Just been tremendous. Well over 200 now.
Usually at this point in the game, you give your star, back a little more time to recover, a little more time to recuperate, maybe get some of those other guys in there. But hey, when you have a guy that's continuing to rush like this, you continue to give him the ball, you continue to let him drive down the field. That is exactly what Steckert's been doing all game long, and it's worked out a little too well for Southern Lehigh. A first and 10 situation.
From the 25, they keep it on the ground. Steckert with a couple more.
Great start to the season, great opening start to the season for Southern Lehigh. They wanted to accomplish a lot of things on all three sides of the ball. They wanted to dominate up front. That's what they've done, as we've mentioned time and time again, and something that looks like they might continue to do as we bring us to a second down.
Looking to throw, comes near side. 9 out of 10 times you're going to make that catch.
Yeah.
Just kind of looking the other way.
Yeah, and Otto Young, it looked like he was looking upfield before he had the ball secured, and mistake receivers make all the times in terms of wanting to try and make some yards without fully securing the catch first. Unfortunate drop there for Southern Lehigh. Just had a third down. Low snap. Another give to Steckert. He gets brought down.
Yeah, not many. I mean, he still gets positive yards, right? Maybe got a yard or so of it, but he's been on it all night long.
Like he was brought down by Jackson Connelly. Nevertheless, a fourth down. Looks like one of the few times today Southern Lehigh is going to opt to kick it.
All right, so what, a 40-yard field goal. By V. Tentoris. Snap is high. Tentoris, and that one's going to be low, and he misses that one.
It's one of the few times that Southern Lehigh's offense doesn't score. Coming in the late stages of this game, 5:45 left to go in the fourth.
So Steckert at 203 yards. Also has 21 yards receiving on the afternoon. Sam's 18 of 26 for 277 yards in that touchdown pass from a yard. Again, thanks to B.J. Spiegelmeyer for those numbers. All right, so you got 6 minutes left. Obviously, you're building for game 2. If you are the Panthers, you're building for Pennsbury. You're going to be on the road again the second week. Obviously, you would like to get some kind of flow.
Yeah.
We've had a couple drives that they had, but they really want to get some kind of flow here.
Yeah, certainly not the end of the world. I mean, it's only week 1. There's still a lot to clean up going into next week and further weeks. But like you said, you want to get some flow so you can get some on film to build off as this game closes up.
So I'll get that one to James Werheim. Werheim, 6'4", 180 junior. Again, for the Panthers, they'll be at Pennsbury, then North Penn home, and Ben Salem and Solderton on the road. Their next few games takes you to the halfway point of the season. Here we're about 5 and change away from this one. And that one tipped for Southern Lehigh. They regroup from this game. Unless something dramatic happens, they'll start the season 1-0, and they'll be right back home here next week against a Blue Mountain team. Then on the road for 2 at Lehigh, at North Schuylkill. By the time you get to that game, and then Pottsville, by the time you get to September 19th, I think you have a better gauge of Southern Lehigh team. Because they're going to have some good teams in there.
Yeah, very tough teams, especially North Schuylkill being one of those guys. 5 minutes left to go. Play action and Martin. Another drop pass.
Yeah, wants that one back, Emilio Olivares. Again, next week we'll be at Parkland High School, Freedom at Parkland in week number 2. Right now, this score all in favor of Southern Lehigh. They're having some fun, right?
Another drop there by Quakertown. Another drop there by James Wireham.
So they'll get the ball back again. Spartans in his 6th year under head coach Phil Sams. A team that really last year made themselves a nice run. Yeah, it's been a couple years now. I think this will be the 3rd straight year they're playing Northwestern. Andrew Olesh at Penn State. He had a big catch last year in a game that we did.
Oh, yeah.
I know Coach Bannister talked about that one. Hey, don't get in behind and, and stuff like that. But, when you can only hold good players, when that are in that position to be a little dominating, they're going to get their catches. You hold them for so long, but eventually they're Division I players for a reason, right? They're going to make those big plays.
Certainly when you have an offense that structures a lot of those plays around them, it's kind of hard to stop them for all 4 quarters.
Flag on a play. That was Declan Bowen. Oh, excuse me. Wrong roster. Jason Stock, 5'8", 148-pound junior. I think you look at Southern Lehigh and decided to give Stecker to see if he can get to 200, and he did.
So there's a positive feeling to start off a game like that. Not your everyday stats, 200-plus yards on the ground, 4 total touchdowns. I mean, what more can you ask for if you're Stecker? Great way to pick up where he left off in terms of last year and hopefully keep that momentum brewing for the rest of the year.
Third down and 15 from the 41 on the ground, and as they change everyone, that's Stock. Try to get you some numbers there for Spartans here on offense. Again, these are the players here, both now that are in, that the ones that battle, each practice, all the time. I remember when Penn Argyl had that team that was unbelievable, and they were winning 45-0 at the half or whatever, and those players came in the whole second half.
Yeah.
By the time they were done, they played almost 4 full games.
Yeah, and, this is a good chance to see some of these, younger players, some of these backup players and what they got and what they can do and get some good stuff on film, and maybe they could even be utilized down the line here in the season.
Declan Walsh is your quarterback, and a little toss to Stock. And Stock pushes ahead. Stock, a junior. Walsh, the freshman, and the quarterback. You know, and again, I'm not gonna say when, but sometimes when you're winning big and all of a sudden you're like, oh, why are we throwing the football? The difference that fans sometimes don't realize is this exactly.
Yeah.
You got a freshman, you got a sophomore, you got a junior who busted their butt. I don't care what sport it is. Doesn't matter what sport it is. And you get a chance to get in. They're proving to the coaches, hey, give me an opportunity.
Right.
They're not 95% of the time. Again, 5%, yes. Coaches may be throwing and just, hey, here's your knockout punch or whatever. But they're giving these players the opportunity to show what they have, and that's why they're throwing the football. That's why they're shooting. Sometimes you watch a soccer game, and all of a sudden you're seeing them play around, and you're winning 7-0, 8-0 in a soccer game, and you're playing around and not going forward because you don't want to embarrass the team. To me, that's even more embarrassing.
Well, I mean, look, like we said earlier, these are the kids that are going to uphold this program in a couple years. Why not see what they got? Why not see what they can produce? Like you said, they've been working hard day in and day out, just like a lot of these starters. Give them a shot to shine, even if it is in the late stages of the game, like it is here. Punt formation, however, for Southern Lehigh.
That ball's just sitting there, and right around the 20-yard line. So 1:47 on the clock. And again, Southern Lehigh is in that classification, the 4A class, where they'll be in the mix with Central Catholic, Bethlehem Catholic, Bangor, Blue Mountain. So those are the teams that they're going to see, where they're not going to see the Central Catholic and the Bethlehem Catholic until you get to the postseason. Both Central Catholic and Bethlehem Catholic this year, new coaches, a number of new coaches this year. On the ground they go. And again, you get some wholesale changes here as well. On the carry. I don't even have him on my roster. Let me see if they have it in here. I think it was 88, correct?
Yes.
Sebastian Sanchez, 5'8" sophomore. That's why I like carrying these around in case. Thanks to Matt Spengler for making sure we had that. Maybe one more snap or so. So Stecker with 200-plus yards and 4 touchdowns. Likely the last play of the game. In at quarterback is Ryan Berlanda. And the big stick at the end. And Southern Lehigh will take the victory tonight. 35-14 over Quakertown.
And the game went a nice licking.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to get a playoff. Yeah, they decided not to. Now we'll end it. You get a little excitement from the crowd here from Southern Lehigh. And the Spartans are 1-0 on the season.
Great contest out here tonight. Absolutely magnificent environment here in Southern Lehigh, and just glad to be with you, Al.
Yep. We knew that environment was going to be what it's going to be, right? And it's exciting. I I was expecting a little more oomph in this one, but sometimes you get them, you know, sometimes you don't. Saw a couple big plays tonight, a couple of good highlights for some players as well. We'll see if Dave Micah gets the job done here and can get coach or at least our player of the game. And let's see if Coach Sams wants to talk to his players first or not. All right, I'm watching Dave. Dave lost everybody. All right, so while we're waiting for Dave, because Dave fell asleep, he got stuck at midfield. All right, 2-yard run by Stecker made 7-0. That was a 2-3 mark of the quarter. A 1-yard touchdown by Stecker at the 9-minute mark made it 14-0. Colton Sams then to Luke Krasinski at the 4:16 mark made it 21-0. Kyle Rasner had a 1-yard touchdown run, made it 21-7. Then we got to the third. That was scored at the half. Then we got to the third. Stecker with a 1-yard touchdown run, make it 28-7. Carter Tucholsky on the reverse went 67 yards on the highlight. And then 8-yard touchdown by Stecker. His fourth touchdown made it 35-14. That's your final. Al at D11sports.com. All right, Dave's waiting, so is Tegan, and players are together, seeing what's going on. I think they're taking a team picture or what?
Could be posing for a team picture, maybe a post-game fight song,
There you go. Took a little while to get that there. I was almost going to sing it myself. I was going to sing a little Silent Night for the people at home. You wouldn't want to hear that, though. All right, so we hear the fight song here. I think I got through the score. It looked like Stecker goes for 203. All right. All right, so Stecker's ready with Tegan Tremba. And we'll wait till they clear here quick. And now we can go down. Here we go.
All right, Sean, so.
You want me to do them real quick? I wanted to go over there first.
All right, so, Sean, 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, your opening game of the season. Not too bad. How do you feel for the first game?
I mean, I feel pumped. I mean, I'm so excited for this team. We had a lot of mistakes, but we can capitalize on those for next week. Next week's a good week.
Yeah, what do you think this team did well today?
I mean, we just came to compete. This is the first time we came out, we punched them right in the throats. Of course, we had that, I think we turned over right away, but we fought back, and I mean, we came out on all cylinders.
So what are you looking forward to next week?
Getting revenge. I mean, Blue Mountain beat us last year. We're gonna knock them out this year.
Congratulations in this win. Good luck in the next game.
Thank you.
All right, Tegan, thanks a lot. So Tegan down on the field, we appreciate her efforts, and get your final thoughts on this one. They're ready for Blue Mountain, I guess, huh?
Oh, yeah, it seems like it. I mean, saying we're going to punch him in the mouth, punch him in the throat, certainly seems ready. You take this one, you watch the film, you evaluate, you clean up a lot of those mistakes, but you overall still celebrate. You still, relish in the idea that through all the preparation, all the time spent in the off season, in the summer and the spring, has led to victory here. And I'm sure that's something that Coach Sams is going to preach and harp on. But like Steckert said, ready to go for week 2. Can't celebrate too long, and Blue Mountain and Southern Lehigh is going to be a good one, I believe.
Well, that'll do it for game number 1. We'll see you at Parkland next week. For Sean Riley, Sports Fan Base Network, for Tegan and Dave Micah down the field, for a little special guest there from A.J. Monsman, who decided to hang out for us for a little bit. And for Terrence Maynard, my partner, Al DeCarlo saying so long. Southern Lehigh gets things going 35-14 over Quakertown. You've been watching our D11sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine.